All right, ready?
Yep.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Horrorble Podcast, where we like to bring you a uniquely face value view on horror movies, of course. And this week we're doing Demonic. We're going to review Demonic from 2015. We're going to talk about Demons and Night of the Demons. What do you guys think of this one?
It's okay.
It's okay? We usually do a theme, but this one we whiffed on. I don't know what the fuck. I don't get it. Anyway, guys, I'm Devin Arnold, and I'm here with my boys, and we're all sipping on beers. Awesome, delicious, fantastic beers at that, because they're shipped from our boys and our friends at craftshack.com. That's CRAFT shack.com. What they do is they ship you beers from all over directly to your door. It's that simple. And they even do this awesome thing that we kind of are a part of called the Beer Club. It's a beer of the month type thing where they send you a box of several different beers every single month, and it's super affordable, and it's the kind of thing where you can get beer after beer after beer, and they can guarantee you that you won't try the same beer twice, unless of course you request it and you want another beer. So guys, that's Craft Shack. So that's why we're gonna go into our little what do we call them?
Beer reviews.
Our beer reviews.
Beer reviews.
We don't really do reviews, so to speak. We just talk about how good they are usually.
Essentially, we're just drinking beer, and the fact that we got this, this promotion is awesome.
And we've never had a stinker. It's all gyms.
Yeah.
So So anyway, we're gonna get into that, and that's why I want to ask Dylan, since you're already speaking up.
Geez, I'm sorry. I'm doing okay. We just saw all three of these movies together, which is a long time to be spending with you guys, but I love every minute of it because I love you guys. I love you guys so much. I love you. And you know what else I love? I love stouts, and this is a stout that we've got here. This is from Ska Brewing, seasonal stout. It is, I think I'm doing this right, hibernal vinifera stout. Talk about $3 words.
Nice job, buddy.
This is what it looks like for those of you watching us live on Vaughn Live.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to take my first sip here. I haven't tried this thing, but boys. Absolutely.
I just took a sip, and I can tell you already, it's delicious.
Ooh, that is damn good. It's a really mild stout to begin with. Kind of low flavor profile, but then it's got like an oak aftertaste. It's really good.
Yep.
This is really drinkable. Damn.
Yep, stouts usually are pretty damn good from Craft Shack, so guys, if you like stouts, refer to them.
Kick-ass can, too.
Yes, sir. Moving on, guys. Manton, how are you doing, and what are you drinking?
Hey, I'm good.
Ooh, what's that? What's that about?
Baby boy.
So anyways, I'm currently drinking the Maharaja. This is an IPA from Avery. And if you don't know Avery, they're fucking great. They make a lot of really, really good, really high alcohol percentage drinks. Like one of their beers is like 17% or something.
It's not this one, is it? Because I gotta drive eventually.
We're gonna be in trouble tonight.
But that one, we actually had that one back at the Woods event. But anyway, this one's pretty good.
This is good.
This is really good.
This is one of the better IPAs we've had, I think, from Craft Shack. This one is not. It's not as overly bitter as a lot of them are, which that doesn't bother me. I like bitter drinks, but this is actually pretty damn
almost
good.
kind of like fools my taste buds into thinking it's sweet.
Yeah,
it's
I was noticing
really
that. I usually don't like IPAs or any kind of pale ale, but like
they're
this
very
one,
divisive.
Yeah, like you drink it and it like coats your tongue in like this bitter, biting flavor. But this one is like really sweet and palatable. And I like it.
It's really nice. I like it a lot.
God, I'm so happy that me and my boys just get to sit here and drink these beers and talk about horror movies.
You get to listen to it.
And
I'm not happy to sit with you guys. I'm just happy to drink these beers. Sorry, boys.
Really, truly.
Love you.
Could take you or
hate to love you, love to hate you.
That's the only reason I'm here. I'm a sellout. Fuck you guys.
All right, well, we're going to go from there to Blutster, of course. And Blutster, what are you drinking? And if you really fucking want to say how you're doing, that's cool,
don't
too.
bother.
I always feel inclined, even if you don't ask, I'm going to tell you how I'm doing. I'm doing great.
Yes, I feel like you're always doing great, usually.
I try to bring the energy. So usually I have like a downturn if our previous movie wasn't that great. And then I drink a couple sips of these bad boys, make some jokes, feeling pretty good. So I am actually drinking AleSmith San Diego Pale Ale. We got a cool guy on here with a baseball bat.
Cool guy.
.394.
Cool guy.
I'm assuming this is some kind of reference to baseball. I'm going to be honest and let you know that I'm ignorant as fuck when it comes to baseball, but I'm a red-blooded American. I'm going to drink this pale ale. Here we go.
Show me how it.
I think that's
What were you doing
actually
there?
that's a cowboy with a lasso, buddy.
No, it's not.
He doesn't understand baseball.
That's a baseball player, buddy. Here,
hold on, let me see.
put it in front of the camera.
Tell me what it
It's all side of the sign.
Thought that a baseball player
You
was
just
a
got wrecked,
cowboy.
son.
Hold
Take
on.
a seat.
Wow.
The dude's name in cursive looked like a lasso around his body.
Sure.
So let me see it now. I
Now
gotta
he's
see that.
backpedaling.
Look from far away. Look from
I'm
far
telling
away.
you.
Backpedaling.
No.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a base.
Okay,
lasso?
actually, I
You
will
see the
give
lasso?
I'll give him this. Your eyes aren't
You
complete
guys
shit.
No, my eyes are.
But you are
shit.
garbage.
I-
So-
I-
You are
Man's
garbage.
vision isn't very good. So you know
Blister,
what? I'll
as a
give him that.
red-blooded American, tell me how that goddamn
Yeah,
beer
review it, please,
tasted.
like a red-blooded
It's pretty
American.
good. Well, like I had high hopes for this one because we had an L. Smith
Nope.
stat on the cast
Not
before.
not
and
a
I
red-blooded
fucking
American.
loved
You
it.
do not
Dude,
sound
you
like
do
a
not sound like a
red-blooded.
red-blooded American here. Review it like a red-blooded American.
I'm gonna
Exactly.
murder you guys. I'm just gonna kill you
that's
on the
very
cast right
red-blooded
now. You want
American.
to see some red blood?
There we go.
Spill it on this
There
cast
we
right
go.
now.
There we go.
No, this is
Vicious
pretty
and
good
violent,
though.
like a red-blooded American.
L. Smith is good. I actually learned about them from Craft Shack. They sent us a stout from them earlier and it was raw.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
that
this
was
pale
really
ale
good.
is keeping up with it, dude.
This
It's
is good.
very. It's not too bitter for me. I don't know if it says like what is it IBAs on here.
IBU.
IBA.
Oh my god!
Just coming up with shit right here.
Just skip me, dude. It's pretty damn good. What do you all think?
It
about
is
this
really
stuff?
damn good. I will leave
It
it at
is
that.
really good. No, I don't want to skip you. I wanted to keep talking.
Red-blooded American
I'm gonna chuck this whole
Bluester.
thing and let this set pass us.
Down it all.
I just want to fucking hear you just scramble and just fucking dig yourself into dumb holes and talk about IBAs,
RBIs.
RBIs, IBAs, baseball,
Oh, man,
and
the
beer.
I think he's got
RBA in here,
.394 IBAs. No, it's pretty damn good
BTUs.
though. L. Smith delivers, and one thing I found out that like I've mentioned in the cast before, if you get addicted to these, you're gonna have to go through Craft Shack to get them because a lot of these are rare, hard
Yes.
to find, and delicious.
I've yet to find most of these in our local stores.
Oh,
Looks like we're
I
going to
haven't
Craft
found-
Shack for all of our drink needs.
It depends on location.
I haven't
pretty
found
much.
any.
No, yeah, I haven't really. A lot of these I have never seen before, which is
So
pretty
thank you
cool.
for broadening our horizons.
So Devin,
Downed it.
Yeah, that leaves me, guys, and I have a beer too. I'm in the club.
Jeez,
Oh, you
you're
did it.
garbage.
Welcome.
Sorry, dude.
Welcome to the club.
I apologize, but
is
no,
it Coors Light?
it is
he
not.
does have one of those, actually.
I do have a Coors
He's
Light.
got 2 Coors Lights, buddy.
Oh,
Those of you
cleansers.
watching live can see his stool that we've talked about repeatedly.
He's
got
got
a lot of
palate
beers on it.
cleansers.
It is
lot of beers.
Absolutely, it's a palate cleanser. But what I'm drinking here is the Imperial Mutt Brown Ale from Stone Brewing Company, which is a company that I'm familiar with. He just fucking laughed.
Stone Brewing Company.
You just, I don't know, man. It was the easiest of the bunch. I'm sorry.
I actually totally forgot that I was gonna review a beer. Like I was like so like entranced by
ready
you
to
all
go.
talking.
Thanks, Craft Shack. We're professionals.
I know, right? No, it's Imperial Mutt Brown from Stone Brewing Company, which I'm familiar with already, and they always do pretty damn good beers.
Yeah, they do.
It says Drew and Steve's at the top. I'm not sure
It's their
exactly.
custom brew.
It's just
Drew, Steve, don't know who you guys are,
Devin,
but
can you
thank
flip it over? A lot of times I'll have cool stories in the back.
yeah, I
about-
see
yeah.
that there's a shit ton. I already went through that road
Yeah, why don't you
before.
read this one out like you
Read
did
the
that entire
entire
other
last
label?
time I did
Was
read
the
it
Cali
out.
Creaming one, you read the
Yes.
entire label?
If I read this one, we'd be here for another 15 minutes.
Yeah, that is actually this fine print.
So, guys, without further ado,
Oh, I'm so proud of you for
Come on.
making
that was specifically for Bluester.
Oh.
I knew Bluester would appreciate that. No, I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna. I love just knowing Craft Shack listening to this and just shaking their
This is
goddamn
what,
heads.
yeah, this is what you're sponsoring.
Thank you so much, Craft Shack. I love you.
I love you.
I don't think I can make it.
Sound like a
dude.
drunk person on New Year's Eve.
Just drink it. dude.
Slurring to your ex-girlfriend.
Like the-
Oh, Craft Shack, I love you. Come back.
That's just the best man at my buddy's wedding. Oh God, crying. All right, here we go. This is the Mutt Brown Ale. I'm pretty sure that's a pun.
Just drink the beer. He's laughing while he's drinking
Garbage.
it.
You're garbage.
Wow,
I have to
He's
come in
gonna
and know.
spit it all over
He
his
didn't,
mic.
he didn't drop a single drop.
that is good shit.
Is it though?
Because it's
It
All
good.
right, jokes
yeah.
aside, guys, that's fucking good. If you've had a Nut Brown or a Mutt Brown, you know what I'm talking about. But
Oh, I get it now.
that's the pun.
You're right, it was. Okay.
No, it's if you like Nut Brown ales, which I do. I guess Newcastle's a pretty common
Yeah.
Nut Brown. This is like Newcastle.
There's a
but
much
it's
more
fucking way
full-bodied
better.
version, though. Like,
Yes, this is.
It is, but it's not as like super thick as some stouts. Like,
No, it's not
very
thick,
drinkable.
but it's very flavorful. It's a fucking burst of nut brown flavor if you like that kind of beer, and it's fucking delicious. It's called Mutt Brown from Stone IPA,
got a picture of a dog on it.
and it's Drew and Steve's. You got to
true.
talk to them, Drew or Steve.
They'll give you the
You got to know a
details.
guy who knows a guy who knows Drew and
Shit, the
Steve.
kids.
if they let it go, you're good to go. But anyway, guys, that's our 4 beers we're drinking tonight.
Yet again, a great batch.
Always
Thank you
a
so
great.
much.
So yes, guys, that's craftshack.com, and you already know what they're about. They send you beers from all over straight to your doorstep, which is fucking awesome. And every time we've had their beer, we've enjoyed it. And there's even, I mean, not there's several that we would like to go back for at some point. We've already put in a quest for
just
one
buy
pad.
The beers, you dingus.
Just fucking get the beers.
Get a beer.
One thing that's cool is that they send you a batch, but like we have yet to get one that was like all the same type of beer. They like put them together. Like, yeah, we're gonna give you 16 different types of fucking beer or whatever.
And they'll send you stuff you're not expecting, like habanero stuff.
Oh my gosh,
it's nuts. Yeah.
What's the sculpin, silly?
It's a fish.
Oh god, let's not.
But
that again.
16 beers is not an exaggeration. That's
true.
I mean that's actually 16 beers. They usually send a stout or two, which we all fucking love. Stouts are awesome.
And you get 16 high quality beers. That's way better than you're gonna find
high gravity, high alcohol.
High gravity.
Is that a thing?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, I'm just trying to impress.
This dude's already off the
Let's just talk about movies. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
All right,
he doesn't know what he's talking about with movies either.
I know.
Lead in.
That's a movie.
Turn this cast around. We're going home.
Guys, that's craftshack.com. Again, they're on Twitter at craftshackbeer, so hit them up and tell them we sent you. We want to keep this relationship going because we love each other and we're a loving relationship.
We love them. We love you. We want to connect you with beautiful beers and beautiful movies.
Craft Shack.
Craft Shack, come back.
So, guys, we're on iTunes and Stitcher. Moving on, guys. Ooh, excuse me.
Pardon me.
Oh, my.
What was that?
I farted. I'm sorry.
I actually turned away from the mic to burp.
I'm very sorry.
Wait, so you farted and you burped at the same time?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the gas guys.
It's a sympathetic relationship.
Doesn't a demon fucking come from the... Oh my god.
This
You're
dude
losing
is
it. Wow.
This dude is toasted.
Our
It was
fearless
just
leader.
a matter of time before
just
Devin was the
As
one
he's
to
just crying on this full bottle over here.
Okay, in his defense, we've been watching movies and drinking all day.
Well, we
'cause
should
it's been
point out it's Memorial Day.
It's Memorial Day.
And,
Oh, it is Memorial Day.
We cooked
Wow.
burgers and hot dogs.
Hamburgers and hot dogs, too.
I want to have a barbecue.
To be fair, though, we did this indoors because we didn't.
It was raining.
It was
too.
raining.
So
Also,
Whenever
we're
Evan tries to host an event, it always rains. So
That's true.
So funny enough,
We're also neckbeards that don't fucking like sunshine or
That's true.
That's true.
we live in caves.
I was worried about how we were going to make the hamburgers and the hot dogs, and I looked in my pantry. Sure enough, a brand new George Foreman was
it's like
in
one
there.
of the oversized ones
It's
too
massive.
for extra
Giant,
grilling power.
and I had no idea I had it. Thanks, Mom. My mom got it for me a
So
few
proud of you,
Christmases
sweetie.
ago.
Thanks,
I
man.
never
Mom, we
used
love
it.
you.
I feel like everyone's mom gets you a weird George Foreman-like thing at some point.
Wait, like it's you going away to school.
Yeah, it's
You're
like,
going to use this.
Here you go.
You want to
You're
drain
gonna
that fat. Be
Be
responsible.
healthy.
I asked for the larger fat what is it, a fat catcher?
Fat,
No,
fat
yeah,
catcher.
it's the lean, mean, fat grilling,
Fat reducing
grilling machine.
Also,
yeah.
we're sponsored by George Foreman.
I hope so.
George Foreman was a little bigger in his later days, I'm pretty sure.
He wasn't using his grill.
Wait, is he not alive?
He probably is.
He's alive,
This
dude.
is so stupid.
Well,
Man,
all
bring
of
up
his
the damn movies
All of his
already.
kids are named George Foreman too.
we don't have we got a while before the fucking movies, guys, so don't get ahead of yourselves.
we got some emails to talk about, right, buddy?
Let's move on.
So let's move on, guys. What was I even saying? We're
Who
on
knows?
iTunes and Stitcher. I think I said already. Or we're on iTunes and Stitcher. So, guys, if you haven't added us to your favorites or whatever that shit is, your favorite podcast, add it to us. Add us to it right now as I'm talking to you. As I'm talking to you, I want you. I'm talking to you, buddy. I want you to add us
You
right
are a train wreck.
now. And then.
Keep it rolling.
Sorry. And if you haven't done that yet, then do it right now. And guys, we release episodes every single Wednesday, and that is not subject to change anytime soon. Why are you guys laughing at me?
You're off your fucking rocker.
This is what we get for fucking
All right, keep
watching
it
the 3 movies straight.
Keep it going.
God damn.
All right, so emails.
That is not subject to change anytime soon, I don't believe. I think that I was going for something like that. We're also on email and Twitter, and you guys know that by now. We're horriblepodcast@gmail.com. Watch me nail this one, though.
I'm waiting.
That's HORRORBLE podcast@gmail.com.
He is ever the professional. I take it all back.
And we're on Twitter. That's just simply @HorribleCast. And guys, we're quite active on both those.
We're also funny on Twitter, so listen
dude,
to
ours-
us.
Well,
weird.
some people don't understand our brand of humor. If we can bring up,
Hey, I laughed, so, you know.
I don't know exactly what I said, but somebody got trolled like a motherfucker on our Twitter earlier today.
Yeah.
I think I said something along the lines of that, like John Carpenter's Halloween was the first non-black and white horror movie ever made or something, and there was like 16 typos and shit. And one guy was like, "No, dude, you telling me The Exorcist
Wasn't considered a horror movie.
Wasn't considered a horror movie?
he was imparting some knowledge on you, but then he just kept responding.
Then he kept responding.
I don't think he got the drug.
He did not get it.
So, Devin, what was your response to that?
I felt like I had.
So I'm calling you out, buddy, if you know who you are.
I was inclined to respond, and I said John Carpenter didn't make The Exorcism until 1973.
Boy, you got.
He's got it. He has to know by now.
That was a multi.
Now he does know that
he
he's
kept
listening
responding.
to this.
He was like,
kept going.
Wait, no, John Carpenter. Oh my god.
John
And then he
Carpenter
linked-
wasn't?
He actually did some research. He linked the first full color horror movie. It was like Frankenstein.
Damn,
No,
poor
he-
guy.
Hey, you
Put
know
a lot
what? We
into
got
this, and he's
educated
just
because of it.
getting wrecked.
I mean, literally, like
John's Carpenter's Exorcisms wasn't made until 1978.
the first tweet I ever did was, I said, "Do you think Don Carpenter ever made a movie before Halloween?"
John Carpenter.
And then the one after that was, "Did you know Wes Craven made Freddy Krueger when he was 15 years old?"
This is complete bullshit.
I just like the idea of like a horror movie podcast that just
Doesn't know what the
absolutely
fuck
don't.
it is.
Well, I mean, case in point, we don't know what the fuck we're doing.
That's kind of our thing here,
Wait,
guys.
Dylan, I have to know though, since we're talking about Carpenter, did Carpenter make Big Trouble in Little China before Halloween?
No.
I don't think he did.
No,
that was late
after,
80s, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Okay.
Although that movie rules.
Because he had a lot of money at that point to kind of just do whatever
Halloween
he
was one of his first for sure.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, 78.
He definitely-
I'm sorry, are we talking about Don Carpenter here?
Are we talking? Is
I
it
don't know
Don
what he's
Carpenter?
made.
Anywho.
Yeah. How did we get off on that tangent?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Twitter.
Oh, yeah, Twitter.
We're on Twitter,
good.
guys.
We are on Twitter, and we will troll you.
Pretty funny. We will troll our own fans. So, guys, with that being said, we're on email, and we have an email that we're going to discuss right now.
A singular email.
Bring it on.
And it's from a new emailer, I'm pretty sure. It's Dustin Dat Dude Crago. I think I said that right.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to the cast, buddy.
He's been interacting with us on Twitter. Cool guy. But he says, "All right, fellas, love the podcast. Thanks for your effort and the work you put into it. Thank you."
Some work.
Somewhere, yeah. If you've listened to the past 10 minutes,
yeah.
then, great question for a group of friends. If you guys were in a horror movie type situation, who would be most likely to be the lone survivor in the end? And you can specify the situation: slasher, movie, haunting, creature feature. Only one can survive.
Oh,
Thanks again for everything, Horrorble crew. Dustin, that dude, Crago.
dude, I'm sorry. We already answered this one.
That's funny because
it's such a good question.
The thing is,
though.
it is such a good question that we've had somebody ask that before, and it was
it was a great conversation too.
Yes.
Who did we end up? Was it me?
I don't know.
I think
definitely wasn't me.
I thought
the
you
last
survived.
survivor.
Yeah, I survived for some weird reason.
It was like a joke. Like you were like the one that everybody thought was
thought
gonna
was
get
dead
killed
and
off.
then ended up coming back.
Yeah, came back. No, it
Because
was
I'm
in the
worthless.
credits.
I can't run. I can't jump.
somebody
I can't do
go
anything.
back and listen to that episode and then email us and tell us about it.
which episode that is. as
Absolutely.
well. Because we're too lazy to go back
No,
and
we
check
know.
ourselves.
We did check actually.
did we?
And carry out the scenario too, because I would like that to actually happen.
It was the.
It was episode 22,
It was the St. Patty's Day episode.
St. Patrick's Day, which was
a gym.
Yeah, so if you want to know who's going to survive in that one, go check that
Yes,
one out.
that's episode 22. St.
Pretty good
Patrick's
episode,
Day.
too.
And
To be fair, that dude told me he's on episode like 3 or 4. So
Hey, you'll work
He's
your
gonna
way there,
catch
buddy.
up. He's
But
gonna
hey,
love it.
man, thanks for sticking with us through the beginning.
too
too.
bad 4 is like my personal favorite episode, probably.
That's a good place to
Four
start.
is a
That's
good
where we
start,
hit our
yeah.
stride.
Well, a lot of people tell me like, "Hey,
And
man,
we
I
fell
finally buckled down. I listened to your cast. I listened to episode 1. I'm like, you fucked up.
Yeah.
You messed
not-
up."
Not the best way to start.
I think it's good to listen
There's
to.
a
just a
certain
long
charm.
episode.
There's a certain charm.
For
to it.
merely starting on the first episode, they fucked up.
For like me and Bluester sharing a mic and Devin's like AC going.
oh god.
No,
I like the
but there was
episode.
only 2 mics total in the room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys were sharing.
We
mics.
were
had
sharing a mic.
and
I like that
with
episode,
Devin.
but it's just long. A lot of people don't make it through. They don't see the beauty.
It was also like 1 a.m. and we all had
Yeah.
work in the morning and like we were about to give up. And I'm so glad
had
we
spent,
didn't
like,
give up.
5
If we had
hours.
not
And now
stayed
we're-
through that,
we
would
might not have
had
a
it back.
vibe.
We're
Yeah,
30
that's
episodes
true.
deep.
32.
32.
To be
I
exact.
was giving a rough number. Come on.
You were pretty close.
Give me
And
the
I
benefit of the
appreciate
doubt
it,
here.
buddy. Good job.
So with that, I'm going to use that as a segue that we are 32 episodes in, which means I'm getting thumbs down by Manti.
I
for
know I
that.
was
I'll
thumbs
give
down
you
in
thumbs up.
Brandon.
Oh,
okay.
always.
Oh yeah, of course.
What?
Given.
So we're 32 episodes in, meaning we've seen a shit ton of movies for this podcast.
How many have we seen?
I mean, I don't know exactly. I know
It's more than 100 at
it's-
this point.
It's roughly 100, around there. You
It's
gotta
staggering to me.
You got to factor in 3 an episode. There's some
And our date nights.
and then our interviews though when we don't do.
That's true.
But we've also had episodes where we watch 5 movies
4
for
or
a
5
marathon.
movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is we're about 100 in, so
God, that's-
and it's about midway through
Wow.
our first year. About I think that was yeah.
Mhm.
So we figured it'd be a good idea to kind of recount and reflect on what we've seen so far, and we're going to give you guys our top 3 personal favorites, each one of us respectively, of the horror movies we've seen.
Specifically for this cast,
Yes,
though, right?
through the podcast and specifically for the podcast. So of course, for example, if we've seen Halloween or
old favorites are counted out.
Old favorites are counted out. So these are only ones we were introduced to for the purpose of reviewing them on this podcast.
For the first time, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you didn't see The Shining, right? Manton? Yeah.
So I mean, that would be fair game for Manton, but not for the three of us.
Right.
And it leaves. I'm surprised by how many good ones we've got out of it.
It's actually genuinely hard to pick.
It is really hard.
3 is
So we've got the honorable mentions. We can.
Yes, I'm gonna kick it off. Yeah, kick it over to you, Dylan. First off.
All right. Yeah, I made a list of this, and I still don't really know which ones I could narrow down to my top 3. But I'd have to say for honorable mentions, I definitely have to mention X-Day, which we just watched.
Nice.
What was that, last cast? Yeah, great, just completely off the wall. Japanese movie.
For me, it literally like changed my expectation of like crazy wacky J horror.
Which X-Day Hair Extensions is the full title.
Yes.
And I'll leave it at that. Go listen to our most recent episode and you'll get a good bit there. I also have to mention honorable mentions to Loved Ones, which I really liked. And
Loved One's awesome. Nice. I like that.
And Housebound, another Aussie.
Yeah,
or no, it's New Zealand actually.
Same
but
thing,
really
right.
good, kind of cheeky comedy horror movie.
Yep.
But I think my top... Also honorable mention to Sleepaway Camp, which is excellent.
Pretty raw.
But my top 3 are, and I don't know the
Starting
order.
from 3, of course.
Are we doing these in order? Because that's going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
No
yeah.
pressure, Dylan.
No,
Just
fuck
put
you.
them
I
out
have
there.
no order.
Hell.
Try your best.
You're garbage.
Okay, well that changes things.
Oh boy.
Can't handle the pressure.
I think probably It Follows. Number 3, I really like that movie. I still think about it a lot. My Bloody Valentine.
Nice.
Number 2, love it to death.
Wait, drum roll. Can you hear that?
Wait, are you drumming for me? Oh, I'm sorry. My number 1, I know this is a cop-out, but it's a tie, and I genuinely cannot narrow down between the two of these because they're very similar to me, but I love them both, and that's The Canal and Babadook.
And The Canal.
I adore both of those movies. And
that is a total cop-out, but you are the guy who first ruined the Jim and Stinker.
I know, I did. Like the first episode we did it, too.
Yes.
But yeah.
You're already ruining our first 100 recap.
Yeah, but those two... back me up, though. Back me up, though, a little bit.
Guys,
those two
it's
are...
a 5-way tie between...
They are kind of thematically
It's
similar,
funny.
and it's really hard
similar.
to
I think I was going to ask you this, Dylan, but I think it's because we watched them so close
and they
together.
were really close, yeah.
I think if you'd watched them a year apart, it'd be different for you.
No, I think they do have a lot of similarities. In fact, someone that follows me on Twitter, I saw them mention the Babadook, and they were like, I wasn't really that into the Babadook, and I was, you know what? Check out The Canal. It's on Netflix as well, and they ended up loving The Canal.
Here's why I think that is. I think The Canal is the man's version of the Babadook. Like it operates on men's fears, and the Babadook operates on women's fears.
This was a female, interestingly.
Man's view.
So,
well, I mean, I don't mean that in like the
I know. I'm just kidding.
I just think that's an interesting
They
side note
play
to
on
that.
very similar themes.
They're such a good
and
pair.
They pair together really well.
Yes, they do.
So if you haven't seen either of them, watch them both.
Just watch them together at the same time.
Yeah. Whoa.
Just like The Shining forwards and backwards,
Right,
but the Babadook and The Canal.
No, but it was really hard to narrow this one down. We've had some great movies.
Well, I'm gonna go and go from there and piggyback off that because mine's gonna be, of course, so similar. In mine, first off, honorable mentions, of course. Don't Go in the House for some reason. Really,
I would have put that one, but I'd seen it before.
The movie
I
rules.
love that movie.
I don't know why, and we saw it in the most gritty, grainy fucking way.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did.
It was on YouTube. Yeah, maybe that
Yeah.
enhanced it in a weird way.
That movie's
It was. It looked like someone's VHS transfer to YouTube.
I kind of like that though.
I liked
me
it. That's
too.
what I'm
No, it makes it
saying.
better.
I think with a lot of those movies, there's something cool about watching it in its original quality
Yes.
versus like Blu-ray.
sure.
Absolutely. And that one committed to its fucking fucked up tone. It's almost like you feel dirty watching it.
Love it.
And I loved it. 80s slasher. Hold on, let me find my place. I also have Clown.
Yeah, I consider that one.
Yeah, that was good.
Honorable mention, I loved Clown, and that's a very recent one. It's almost like a creature feature. It's crazy.
Coin.
Or like a body horror, The Fly type thing. Also, and I have to mention this, and I'm gonna take a page out of Dylan's book and be a fucking cheap ass here, but there were some that I saw literally right before we watched the podcast, or we started the podcast. So technically they couldn't be on my list, but I have to make mention
Which one you're doing?
to The Burning. The Burning I fucking loved so much, and we watched that right before the podcast. Macabre in the same night we watched that, and that would have made it. And
those were right before we did the podcast. They were like 2 days before we did the podcast.
and this, I don't even know how this factors in, but I watched this during the podcast, but it wasn't for the podcast. And Killers, and we did review it.
Yeah, we did.
Killers.
I'll give you that one.
Killers would have been actually in my top 3.
We watched that together, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
that would be in my top 3, but I'm not going to put it in there because I saw it for whatever reason outside the podcast. Anyway,
great-ass movie.
Without further ado, my top 3, which doesn't even fucking matter because number 3 is My Bloody Valentine, number 2 is The Babadook, and number 1 is The Canal.
There you go, dude.
So I'll go ahead and kick it over to you, Bloodster.
All right, so I just want to thank you boys for doing this cast with me and introducing me to so many fucking good movies I would have never seen otherwise.
Pleasure,
Loving
baby.
it.
And I can't wait till we can start doing some user-submitted ones so our users can enlighten me as well.
Yes.
So I hate to say it, but my list is going to look pretty similar, but I'm going to throw in some curveballs. And so my honorable mentions are X-Day. Obviously, it's a fucking masterpiece. Yeah. My Bloody Valentine did make it into top 3, but not because I don't love it. And I don't think it's literally my favorite slasher, but I've got some others that I like more.
Yeah.
Maniac. Love that movie.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
Absolutely.
I think that movie is spectacular. I don't know why. I just love it. Black Christmas. I think it's extremely scary, and it completely
you bastard, stealing all mine.
It completely changed. Like
I've already seen it.
Yeah, if I hadn't seen it already, it
was my first time. And that's what I love about this.
Absolutely,
man. And this is how I wrote it. So I got to say like this: Cream Warrior.
Nightmare
on Elm Street 3.
Bitch.
So my top 3, and I think this might surprise you all, but these aren't my 3 favorite movies of all time, but 3 that really are important to me for this cast. So number 3 is Suspiria. That was one of the first movies that made me like Italian horror, and
that's crazy.
One of the movies we're going to talk about tonight kind of plays off that, so that's good. 2, It Follows, right? That movie was raw, and I think it kind of put a new little fresh spin on modern horror. I loved it, and of course, don't even need to say it. You all know what the number 1 is, The Canal. That movie is almost unimpeachable. It's so fucking good. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet.
That's 3 for 3 of The Canal at the top, and I bet that's going to change here though. But Manton, you go ahead and give us yours.
Yeah, so you guys already said all mine, so I was gonna again say Black Christmas, Maniac, but my top 3, and again like these are this is so hard to do, and it's actually gonna be more newer ones, I guess, because a lot of these movies I've already seen, so a lot it was a much newer pool of movies to pick from for me especially, but we're gonna do It Follows.
Yep, good choice
for number 3. Number 2, actually, it's kind of a toss-up between these 2, but Starry Eyes. I actually
nice.
Yeah, I forget about that one, but yeah.
Starry Eyes was a movie.
We didn't actually review it for the cast.
Yeah,
but we didn't review it.
Yeah.
We just interviewed them. We never reviewed it.
I don't think we reviewed it.
Yeah, but no, I'll count it because we did watch it for the
We've
cast.
talked about it. So we didn't give it we didn't do the Stinker Gym thing.
That's why
we would have all
we might want to revisit that. I kind of
I mean, dare I say that would be 4 gyms though. I mean,
yeah, no, I think it would. Like for me, that movie was I liked it when I first watched it, but it took a few weeks for me to like really love it. And I always think back to the soundtrack. Sometimes I'll just
it's so good. Jonathan Snipes also.
We had him on.
Interviewed him.
And I feel dirty putting this at the top, but I mean The Shining, because
you hadn't seen it.
I hadn't seen it before.
No, that's totally fair.
That literally warms.
I mean,
my
that's
heart.
fair.
I love it.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had picked something more interesting, but fuck
Dude,
it.
no,
I mean, that movie legitimately is a masterpiece.
Yeah, and it reflects what you got out of this cast.
I'm so glad. I would have put that one up there, but I'd already seen it, and so like I was always really excited to have you all watch it. And most people didn't like it as much as I did, but I'm glad, man. I would put it up there.
Maniac is another one though that I really would
fucking
amazing. It was a toss up for me between The Shining and Maniac. Maniac for some reason just like I don't know, something about that movie I would watch it again and again.
Yep. The number one.
In fact, another fucking what's the word I'm looking for?
Killer sympathy type thing.
No,
another
God
fucking.
Anyway, another runner up. Excuse me. Honorable mention would be Intruder.
No,
really?
I don't know why, but I just really like it.
You did love that one.
I wouldn't have put that up.
I never would have put that one on.
But even with all the kills, those insane.
They're nuts, and it'll fulfill one thing that you're looking for, but it fulfills nothing.
Speaking of that
else.
one thing, fucking today. Actually, I totally forgot to put this one on there, but this is. I watched one today for this cast.
I know. I didn't want to go into those.
Would be my. I'm not going to say it, but it would be my honorable mention.
We'll get into which one.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We'll get into that one for sure later. And I'm gonna.
Can I just say though that if we were not limiting this in any way, shape, or form, it would have been Mad Max for all of us at number 1.
Yes,
that was for one of our date nights. Not a horror movie, but goddamn, that movie's amazing.
It wouldn't be my number 1.
We did decide
it would be mine.
It would be mine too. Fuck it.
No way. I like horror movies more than I like action movies. So.
Me too. Me too. And that shows how much I like that movie.
Right, but it's a good movie. Whatever. And I'm gonna put you guys on the spot now, and I want you guys to tell me not your top 3, or I guess rather bottom 3. But
our stinker.
The worst one.
Oh, you son of a bitch! I wasn't thinking about this one.
The worst one you think you saw for this cast. Just one movie And
there's one. Oh boy. Okay.
I'll give you a second. I'll tell you mine right now.
Okay, go ahead.
And mine for sure was a very recent one, and it was Evil Bong.
Yeah.
That one's really bad.
That movie's goddamn bad. And of course, I mean, I know you guys. There's a. I don't even want to do honorable mentions because we're probably gonna
dishonorable.
Dishonorable.
Dude, Leprechaun in the Hood. Fucking hate
Dylan.
that
I'm
movie.
with Dylan on this one because
I fucking hate it.
it's not the worst made movie we watched. I think Evil Bong gets that.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Leprechaun in the Hood is offensive and just flat out boring
and stupid. It's just tone deaf and dumb.
I mean, it's goddamn garbage.
I know what
awful.
man's gonna say though.
Manton, what is it?
Santa Slay.
No,
No way.
Nope.
That movie sucks though.
It
Fuck.
does suck.
I think Santa Slay is
Save
a
me for last.
goddamn.
It deserves a dishonorable.
No,
mention.
I think you are last. I think
You
that
are last.
Brewster
Oh, I am?
agreed.
Yeah, we're on the same.
Well, if we want to go into that, we should go into the reviews.
Exactly.
Oh
I knew
boy,
it.
really?
I knew it.
That far down?
Yep.
Holy shit. Okay.
Whoa.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Because it commits the ultimate sin for me.
okay, this is going to be good.
I'm blown
let's,
away. I'm
excited
let's
to talk
ride
about
that
these
segue
movies,
all the
yep.
way into these reviews.
I'm in fucking awe.
That's awesome.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
Well, guys, that said, I guess we'll get into our reviews tonight. We're going to be talking about demonic.
Stinker to end all stinkers is coming up here. I can't remember which one it's going to be.
I know what it's going to be.
We got a couple choices here.
and it's hyperbole for sure, but
No, it's
demonic,
not.
Well,
It's not.
we'll get
Not
into
for
that.
me.
demonic, Night of the Demons, and Demons, simply Demons. So we'll start off with Demonic, 2015, which I'm pretty sure Manton really loved. So if you would love to give me a synopsis of Demonic, that'd be
Sure.
fantastic.
Demonic is a movie where nothing really happens, and
Fair.
I hate it.
Wow.
Fair.
There we go.
Sick.
Demonic has a guy that is being made to go to this haunted house he doesn't want to go to.
Nice.
He's filming it on found footage cameras, but
Nice.
they're also filming it from not found footage cameras, so that's kind of cool.
Okay, that's confusing.
It is confusing.
There's an FBI agent who goes to like a call and everybody's dead, and he's interviewing the guy, and the guy's talking about how everyone died.
You
He was
really got a
also an
natural
Dude,
talent with the
I
podcast.
really
Mike.
wish that Manton was like blowing this out of proportion how little it makes sense, but this movie doesn't make any fucking sense.
They hold a seance, and he barfs up some birds.
That's fucking raw, dude. Keep talking. I'm loving every minute of this.
There's a guy that he shoots the guy.
I'm about to fall asleep. God damn.
Well, that's weird because you know what? This movie-
I just want to say that when Matt and I were watching this movie the other night, like we were making predictions about how this review was going to go, and it's pretty much going exactly how I imagined.
It's great so far. Keep it up.
So then there's a lady interviewing him, and she's videotaping it, and she watches it back, and he's not there.
Whoa, spoiler. God damn.
But who cares?
These fucking dudes act like they haven't seen a bad movie before.
It's not that this movie's bad.
There's so
We knew
much
you were
more.
gonna finish
There's
that.
It's not
so
that this
much
movie's
more.
bad.
There's so much more to
What's
it.
that? Enlighten me. Talk to
It's
me.
that this movie
Here's
is
the problem.
offensively mediocre.
This movie to me, this is why this movie for me might be the worst we've ever watched, is because this movie is so goddamn boring, so derivative, so like generic and mediocre that like there's nothing to get from this movie, to the point where I can't believe that it was made in
2015.
I can't believe fucking
Oh
James
well,
is
Evil
on-
Bong was made in 2014 or
Okay,
something,
that is-
right?
that is
but
mind-blowing.
again,
That
but I
is
want to point this
mind-blowing.
out, okay? For me, like what I get out of movies, what I get out of these reviews is like what and what level, and on any level can I enjoy this movie. Evil Bong, like that movie is fucking awful, but there are moments in that we've made fun of.
No
There's
way.
The granddad stuff
Hold on,
is
just
horrible
hang
and
on.
laughably horrible.
It's
I'll give you that.
it's absolutely terrible. This movie just doesn't fire on anything. I wanted to take a nap both times I watched it. I was just dying to fall
Well,
asleep.
there's your first mistake. You watched it twice. Dylan, what are you
Okay,
thinking?
so
I
I
did
mean,
watch it twice.
Manton usually is pretty good about like not spoiling things going into it.
There's
Like,
nothing to spoil.
Well, that's the thing is like if you've seen one before us, you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to hear what you've got to say about that one. You're like, oh yeah, I enjoyed this one. Like that was your lead in with this movie when we watched it. And dude, fucking, I mean, you're right. It's bad. This movie.
It's bad,
It's
yeah.
not good. But it is not. I don't think. I think you're being a little hyperbolic there,
No,
but
you totally
but I will
are.
give you,
I will.
man,
I
I
will
will give you the
frame
benefit
it.
of the doubt here.
Because for
You
me,
have to frame
it is offensive
For Manton,
mediocre.
this is-
This is
See,
I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not saying this is the worst we've ever seen. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it like
commits the worst sin.
for
Yes.
2015.
Yes.
That is
for this to
mind-blowing.
come out in 2015 and like
Right.
the amount of sense this movie makes, and I'm not kidding when I say that this movie is so sloppily put together that like
Yes.
I've not watched a movie.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the last time I watched a movie that has so so many obvious holes in the plot and so many obvious.
There's no plot, man.
Well, there isn't one, but that's fine.
This movie blows my mind, especially that it's made in 2015, because it feels like the first thing that's nostalgic for the 2000s era. Like it feels like it's aping on all of those shitty 2000s like. It kind of semi-found footage movies.
Lifetime original.
It does everything wrong on purpose.
I got that from it
convinced.
too.
It's really bad. This movie's really bad.
It was reminiscent of like a 2000s, like 2004, 2005 type movie with the color palette and like the fucking weak ass drama. But Bluester, you have a point to make.
Well, I was kind of saying I'm going to mention another point, but I think that for me, I was watching it and it almost felt like a soap opera. It was really weird. Like you have this crazy overacting and.
Oh, the acting's so bad.
But the thing that Manton's like introduction was very kind of disjointed, and that's how the movie feels, which is weird because this movie didn't introduce anything to the genre. You'd think that I'm basically taking a formula and I'm applying it to my movie, which isn't a bad thing. But you think that it would be easy to follow.
They execute it worse in every conceivable way.
This movie, every piece of this movie is really confuses me. And if you actually go back and try to explain it, it doesn't make any sense.
And watching it a second time only made it more confusing.
You notice more holes. The biggest one is that we have this agent guy and he's investigating some set of murders, and then we have this kid that basically links these murders to what we're going to find is some history, and his connection to it is so confusing and like
they have to reiterate it so many times that I just didn't get it.
He didn't want to go, and they begged him to go, and he's just like, well, you know what? I guess I'll join.
There's who is the they though, because these other characters that bring him there are part of some like ghost hunting team, but it's not clear if they're doing this for like a show or anything. They're just like these semi-attractive people who just have this one thing where they're like, man, it's haunted. We gotta look at it.
Just give it to them. They're ghost hunters.
This like I'm getting more worked up about it, man, by virtue of talking about it. So you may be onto something.
Well, the problem again, like with something like the acting, right? The acting the acting's not laughably bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. Like boring.
But I will say the one thing that is just over the top awful is the script. This is a horrible script.
Oh, the script, it does have a couple laughs.
There is
a couple laughs in here.
Nothing working here. I feel like this was the product, because there's like 7 producers on this, one of whom is James Wan. I think there were probably 7 script writers, because none of it ties together. They do so much that's unnecessarily convoluted. The fact that they have this like agent doing this thing after the crime could be kind of cool, but then they keep bringing you back to the beginning part and like this camera crew who was part of the crime or whatever, and then they don't meet in the middle. None of it matters. None of it connects.
Just separates at one point and breaks apart.
It's like these are totally different stories.
Any build-up that they would have done between any of the story arcs coming together was completely dissolved. And there's a specific scene that does it, and you never see any resolution in any of those lines.
I don't think we're giving away too much in that, like all of the camera crew members and everything, they're killed.
Well,
that's hinted at.
They're
killed
in the first like 2 minutes.
It's hinted at that they're killed, but the movie actually truly does not show how any of that happened. It throws them away.
They just go away.
Like, puts them under a rug, and there's only 2 of those people who actually matter.
It's so frustrating because like
they don't even mention them again.
It's so lazily done. Like and at least in a movie like this, like please at least give me some fucking kills or something, anything.
There's nothing.
This movie just they're there, and then there's a certain turning point in the movie, and they're just gone.
Well, to that point, you say, please give me some kills, give me something, and you guys maybe as listeners might be able to tell by now that I was not nearly as offended by this movie. I've seen a bad horror movie before. This wasn't the worst horror movie I saw today, as a matter of fact.
Wow. Well, yeah.
And this movie kept me more entertained than one we're going to talk about a little bit later. Like, literally, more happened probably in Demonic than this movie we're talking about pretty soon. But, I just wasn't quite as, it boggles my mind when you sit there and talk about this being as bad as it is, and then I'm thinking back to Evil Bong. It's called Evil Bong.
Evil Bong is a worse put together movie, but
it's not a better watch experience either.
It is actually.
But it's not a better watch. No, it totally is not. You're saying it in hindsight because you think it was funny, but we were miserable.
I'm also saying this in hindsight with this one, and
I just want to preface that I don't agree with man. This is the worst movie ever made. But this movie is
he's definitely hyperbolized.
I think it's dreadful. Not
understanding.
I think it's
no. I am. Sorry, I hit my mic, but I'm with Dylan here. I think me and Dylan are actually surprisingly on the exact same page. Where this one is, yes, it's obnoxiously mediocre, but it's not like the worst fucking horror movie.
Okay, but can I point this out? You asked like, what's my least favorite movie? Like, what's the movie I hate the most? Like, you didn't ask me what's the worst.
No, I did.
Objectively
bad. I did. I said, what's the worst movie we saw this?
But you're intending to ask like, what is my least preferred
personal
movie?
Opinion of what's the worst.
So
movie.
like, because of that, like for me, like this movie has. I love things that are hilariously bad. I love things that are so bad. This movie's not so bad. This isn't the worst movie.
Right. I get what you're saying.
On a technical, whatever, everything standpoint, this isn't the worst movie. It is just like legitimately the most boring, the most like middling, the most shockingly dated for 2015.
Shocking is amazing.
If I can jump to your defense on this one, like Devin, what I would have said here was if I had said that Don't Look Now was the worst movie we've ever seen. Right. It's not. It's not the worst movie, but goddamn, that movie bored the hell out of me.
But it bored you, right?
It's so like I just did not.
Oh yeah, because in my head I was thinking Night of the Living Dead. That was probably the least enjoyable experience I had watching a movie. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then wouldn't you put that as your worst?
No, because I don't think it's the worst movie I saw. Evil Bong is goddamn worse than Night of the Living Dead.
We got to bring Evil Bong out of this picture because Manton is not saying that this is the worst movie ever made. What he's saying is that it is just offensively.
I'm saying that they're legitimately like you guys can say this is hyperbole.
Dude, no, man, you are hyperbolizing, but you are also right because this movie is fucking dumb.
All I'm intending.
It is. That's a great way to put it. Actually,
all I'm intending to say is that like every single movie that we've reviewed would probably give you more entertainment value than this movie.
I 100% disagree.
I fucking forgot this movie, and we just watched it like 3 hours
There's no reason to watch this.
I watched this twice.
I'm never going to rewatch it, and I would never recommend this movie to anybody, but I've sat through at least 3, 4, 5 movies for this podcast that were goddamn way more boring.
I just want to make
Evil Bong was the most boring movie I might have ever seen in my life.
I just want to make clear that, like, you know, it's not hyperbole. It is like my genuine opinion. Like, I'm not like being crazy just to be crazy.
Okay, you were offended by this movie somehow.
That aside, we have to actually talk about this movie because I don't think that we have actually given instances of how lazy.
Let's talk about this carpet scene.
Okay, the carpet scene. There's a moment where they walk up to like a music box, and this moment comes out. This moment comes out of fucking nowhere because everything does. Like they're just wandering around this house, nothing's happening. And actually, I got to sidetrack myself for just a second here. Can I make a big gripe to Hollywood here? Stop making movies about people who are like ghost hunting crews because that shit is boring to begin with. Yeah. If you make a movie out of it, it's not going to be any less boring than people getting scared by something moving in the next room.
Can I just say that
stuff is stupid? It's like Grave Encounters, which is a dumbass movie.
It's a way better movie than this.
Grave Encounters is way better.
Is at least a million times better than this movie. So much better. Well, what's up with all like the self-victimization in this movie? Like these demon hunters, and they're like, you know what? Everyone's like calling them crazy. They don't understand us, man. That's why we're doing this. And they establish.
What are they doing though?
I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know, man. But anyway, Dylan.
Yeah, okay, so there's a scene where they all walk into this room where they're like some phenomenon happened. It didn't actually show what it was. There's a music box sitting there making music box noises. That's another trope that you need to get rid of, Hollywood.
So dumb.
So stupid. But anyway, they come in there and they're like, wait, is there any electricity on? And they got lights flashing everywhere, cameras,
turn
everything.
Off all the electricity in the room.
They're like, no. I'm like, come on, man. Just, you gotta not draw so much attention to your plot holes. But anyway, they point to this music box. It's of a ballerina like standing up and rotating or whatever, and it's moving every time they move it to a certain point. Could be kind of creepy, I guess, but the thing rotates and the ballerina's finger is like in a general direction, and he said, where's it pointing? Like that's the first question they ask about it.
No, it's the one guy. It's our main guy. Everyone's like, what's going on?
And he says, it's pointing to the rug. And there's one rug. There's one rug in this room. The one guy
says it. The one guy says it's pointing to the rug.
There is one rug in this room.
Yeah.
And they look under the rug, specifically say, there's nothing under this rug. They show there's nothing under this rug. And then it cuts to them in another room. I'm convinced.
No.
Or is it the same room?
No.
But there's a completely different rug. A really large rug.
So what happens is he's like, okay, no, it's not pointing to that wall. It's pointing to the rug. And they're all like, oh, wow, that's genius.
There's nothing in here,
They
though.
look under the rug. There's nothing.
No goddamn sense.
And then he says, no, but what if it's not pointing to that rug?
Like he's just backpedaling.
Yes. Why does it have to be a rug?
Why does it have to be a rug?
Well, it's just pointing in the air.
There's nothing that is showing him that would.
So unless the other rug is right under that rug in the other room,
we need to specify that they just cut to a completely different room we've never seen.
I'm convinced it's a different room. It's supposed to look like the same room, but it's a different room.
No, they do cut to a different room, and they're like, "What if it's the other rug?"
So this ballerina is pointing to a rug in like 2 rooms over.
But we know it has to be a rug because ballerinas don't point to anything but rugs.
It's so fucking dumb.
I don't want us to act like that's the biggest hole in this movie. That's just
not. But the thing is, like, this movie was kind of put together. Like, they had a couple of ideas for a couple of scares or something.
Jump scares.
Okay.
And then they just forgot what order they put them in. They're like, oh, fuck it, just put it in whatever order. Because none of this is ordered in any particular order. Like, the movie is so scattered.
If I said all this film, they're like, gosh, what the fuck are we supposed to do with all these fucking
Just cram it in there.
Just throw it together. I don't know.
Somehow.
This movie is like one of the worst edited movies.
It's so bad.
Like, okay, so like one thing that's so funny is like they see this demon, they see all these insane things happening.
I wanted to bring that up.
Hold on.
It really pisses me off.
And then they go and do a seance, and the candles get blown out magically on their own.
Oh my
and they're
God.
like blown away after they've seen a fucking
That's
painting
the
light on
evidence they
fire.
needed for there being a demon, not actually seeing a fucking demon.
Well, what bugs me is it's like this weird. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's like this weird mixture of like ghost story and demons. Like before we even
That's
have a
fine,
seance,
though.
before we even talk to demons,
yeah.
there's like all these weird apparitions, and they keep seeing things, and they're like,
Oh, right.
and it's just like,
But they
people
treat
behind
all of
them,
this as a surprise.
but nobody even acts like they exist. They forget those, and like, all right, now we're gonna have our seance. Now we're gonna talk to the demons, but it's only gonna be a communication seance. None of that shit where we summon people.
We're not gonna
I love
summon.
that.
And to
This
be
ain't
fair,
a fucking summoning dog. This is a communication.
to be
channel.
fair though, that seance scene has one like kind of clever scare in it with some heat vision. Could be kind of cool, but it's
have
it's
ghost
just
vision,
it's
dude.
executed
Here's-
fucking miserable.
But then,
Like
but then we get into another problem, which is that like we find out later this is just one demon doing all this, but then they also talk about all these other supposed
demons.
They have a heartbeat.
They have a heartbeat monitor that
detects
shows
15
like 7
demons.
something demons.
It's a demon orgy up in there.
There's also another
Boy.
huge,
Wow, nice.
huge plot hole that I don't
Which
know
one?
if I can spoil it. It's just
Spoil it.
It's
Who
the
gives a
biggest
fuck?
one.
Don't watch this.
Don't
movie.
spoil it, dude.
So, what I'm gonna say is that like there's a character that they think did all of it, and he didn't. But he didn't do it right, and he didn't do anything wrong. Except he also kills a couple cops,
And he does demonic
for no
things.
reason.
God
Man, this
damn,
is
he's a
why
cop killer.
This is why I was giving you
For
that
no
weird
reason.
face in the
Yeah, I
movie, because he
know,
starts
I
doing
know.
these crazy demonic things, and he's apparently, you find out later, a normal person.
He's just a normal guy.
And you're just like, none of this makes any sense.
Also, though, here's the other problem: none of these characters basically even have names, or like none of them
They
matter.
don't matter because we don't find
They
their
don't. They don't
fates.
establish anything
We-
about
we-
them
we know
besides
that
like
they
maybe
die.
a love triangle that ends up not mattering because the people involved in the love triangle aren't like they don't matter.
Well, that's what's
one of them
funny.
just completely doesn't matter.
They give them these like especially these two characters that kind of insinuate these like flirtation between them, but they just say
it's just because
whatever.
they're horny. It's just a
not in
horror
the
movie. That's what you do.
anymore.
Oh, we're gonna fuck. Yeah,
Fucking,
whatever.
let's review this
Yeah,
shit.
this
All
movie's a
right,
pile of dog shit.
enough fucking
Devin, give it a
griping,
gem.
guys.
Just get it over
I'll
with.
kick it off, and this
Devin
movie,
loves this movie. Spoiler.
no, I don't love this movie. I really didn't like this movie, but it's just like you guys act like you haven't seen a goddamn bad horror movie before.
Nothing like this.
I've seen a
And there
lot.
are far worse movies out there than this.
Nope.
And I can name 5, 6 on the top of my head. I can name probably
You're
20.
Right. You're right.
And if you get offended by mediocre fucking films that come out and try to do the same shit that other ones have done in the past and then fail at it, then you're gonna maybe you'll have that visceral of a reaction to it. I did not. I wasn't super bored through it. It certainly wasn't good. And again, I'm never gonna recommend it to anybody or watch it again. So it's a bad movie. There's no fucking question. But the only thing I'm gonna say is, Evil Pong is worse.
I won't disagree.
Way
there.
worse.
So it's a gem,
So it's a-
right?
So that's a gem, guys. It's a
Oh,
sticky gem,
fuck
but
you.
no, I'm just kidding. It's a fucking stinker.
Good.
I hate this movie. I'm kind of surprised by how offended some of you guys were. So
I'm not offended. That's the problem.
Dylan, kick it over.
Okay, so here's why I'm offended, and I didn't think I was as offended until I started talking about it, because I've never seen a horror movie so well set up for success and fail so goddamn miserably. This one is backed by James Wan, by Harvey Weinstein. Like, there's money behind this galore.
So weird.
It's got actors that you might actually recognize in
Yep.
some of them, but all of them are fucking bad at what they're doing. And everybody involved in making the movie is bad at what they're doing. They should not make another movie. This one is embarrassingly mediocre, and to the point where I agree with Man. I get more mad about those movies because they set me up for thinking that I'm not going to be wasting my time, and then just flush it down the toilet. This movie is a mess. Just a mess, and there's nothing good to say about it, actually. Despite it having potential, it just does not capitalize on any of it at all. It's an absolute stinker. Please never watch this movie.
It's just funny because I remember literally after
It's not
watching
the worst movie ever made.
Right, but after watching Leprechaun in the Hood, for example,
Yep.
it's almost
That's-
like we had
that's
to
one of them.
resuscitate like Bludster and
I still stand by it. I just literally just said it. Leprechaun
Right.
in the Hood is the worst movie I've watched.
Had we watched this one
Only thing
last,
closer is-
had we
is
watched this one last,
Mike
we may
Myers.
have had
We
that.
would have turned it off.
Oh, I don't think so. Well, okay, anyway,
We
I
thought
would've- I
about
would've
turning it
turned
off
this off.
anyway.
we'll get
If I were watching this one alone, I would have turned it off.
Of course you would have it. Manton, what do you think?
This movie was a blast and a half. I loved it.
Okay.
All right, so let me just like sort of defend my honor here.
You got no honor.
I was gonna say.
So like when it comes to horror movies, there's kind of two things that I want to see. You know, I want to see like great horror movies. You know, we can list off I love a bunch of them, The Shining, whatever, all the ones we just talked about. These are all movies that give you good scares. They have great fun. They sort of like take you into this fantasy world of fear. And then you have the bad movies that a lot of times bring out a lot of fun. If you're watching with friends, they can be a blast. You can make fun of them. You can do whatever.
They're so bad it's good.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. I'm a huge fan.
You like
maybe even more so than everybody else here. I mean, again, Intruder, fucking loved it. Fucking loved Intruder. It's a pretty bad movie, but in the first part. Anyway, this movie has none of that. This movie is the most boring. This movie is the exact opposite of what I want from horror. It's just completely boring.
I get that.
Yeah. We all watched this together today. The first time I watched this, I watched with me and Brandon and two other people, and like we just sat in silence and we just were utterly silent. And
it wasn't fun.
There was nothing. There was no jokes. There was nothing. We watched it all together today. People mostly were, cooking hamburgers and mostly leaving the room playing.
Most people were on their phone.
There was really nothing happening at all. And like that's to me is the worst. That is so much worse than like something like Leprechaun, where like at least I can look back on that. To this day, we still say "Lep in the hood, come to do no good," and laugh. Whatever. It's stupid. It's fucking terrible. I'm not in any way defending that movie. That would be number 2 on my worst movie list.
Okay.
But at the same time, like to me, this movie commits the ultimate sin, which is that it's just fucking boring, and I just don't care. And
neither did anybody making it.
I'm not even gonna review it. I don't even fucking care.
There you go.
Wow. That's a fucking stinker.
You guys, okay, there we go. Devin says
I think
stinker.
that is a stinker.
I'm pretty sure. If you guys,
as a stinker,
I don't know if we
sure.
should make a vote, but I'm pretty sure that would be a stinker.
The eyes have it.
Bluester, what your thoughts on it?
So I made this joke twice already. I'm going to make it a third time.
Let's hear it, man.
But
okay, come on.
James Wan's involvement in this movie is that he produced a turd into the porta potty on the set of this movie. He had nothing to do with this movie.
And that's what they put on film.
I want to call up James Wan and ask him.
He had nothing to do with it.
There's no fucking way. This dude just made Fast 7. He doesn't have anything to do with this movie. I guarantee he didn't even see it.
But they are throwing his name all over.
It's literally on the cover. Like,
yeah.
Well, kind of like Intruders did with fucking Bruce Campbell, who literally is in
that's true.
20 seconds of
this one though makes me mad
raw,
because
though.
Bruce Campbell's actually in that
also
movie.
Evil Bong with fucking Tommy Chong.
But he's actually in that movie.
Yeah,
Anyway, like 10 minutes.
Anyway, I'm going to cut you off.
Though.
I don't want to give this movie any more minutes than it deserves. Like, it's already well past. But anyway, I just want to preface that I have nothing against movies that don't do anything new. If you take an existing piece of content, make it better, make it your own. I think that's fucking great. And some of my favorite movies do that. Yeah. But this movie is, and Manton said it, it's inexcusable. It's the same thing with Evil Bong. Like, Evil Bong is a brand new movie. You would watch it and you'd think it's a piece of shit made, 20 years ago in some dark annals of history.
My God.
It's inexcusable this movie was made this year because they have so much technology, so much material to steal from. Like,
it's inexcusable.
Even if they tried to steal something from some other movie, it would have been better. This movie is just deplorably boring and bad and fails at everything it tried to steal. It's a stinker. Sorry. It's a fucking stinker. Fuck this movie. It's not a gem. It's a stinker.
There you go. Put that on the box art.
God damn. You guys heard it. That's 4 stinkers.
It's so
most
bad.
of them very strong. God, I did not expect that.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's a bad movie. So we're going to move on from there to a... What are we going to move on to? Are we going to go into...
You take your pick, buddy.
I say we do...
Night of the Demons?
Night of the Demons.
Hey.
We'll move on from there to one that I have fucking loved myself.
You don't have to.
Is that what you were going to say, buddy?
Night of the Demons from, I think, 1988. Who wants to give a synopsis?
That's going to be me.
Take it away.
All right, Night of the Demons is about a group of really just shitheel teenagers. I mean, they are the worst.
Turds.
Like, they establish early that they're all playing pranks on each other. They're all calling each other bitch. They're all just being assholes, honestly. And they all look like they're about 30. And they all head to a haunted house, Hull House or Hole House. I don't give a fuck which.
Hey.
And it's apparently built on like sacred cursed Indian ground, or I don't fucking know, whatever. And there's an underground stream that separates the demons from the outside world. And so they decide to go there to throw a raging party, which is not all that raging. It's only a few people, and it's kind of shitty. And it's led by this girl, Angela, who is played by Linnea Quigley, a scream queen who spends all of Return of the Living Dead naked and a zombie.
Right.
And this one, not much different, although not naked, oddly. And slowly they get possessed by the demons that inhabit this house. And
do they? I don't remember.
I don't fucking care. And they start chasing each other around, and there's some gore and some stuff, but
really, is there?
Well, to start out with, the reason that I'm really offended by this movie is that it thinks it's so much more clever than it is.
Yeah,
it starts off by trying to be like really tongue-in-cheek and
absolutely,
and super like, they're playing crazy jokes on each other, but their jokes fall flat, and like they actually let them fall flat. There's silence that happens right after.
It's really weird. I couldn't tell if they were jokes or not.
It's stupid.
Can we talk about the intro? The intro was fucking
beginning.
awesome.
Let's just talk about the beginning. It's
intro
fucking
was really cool.
Let me make the point that if you watch the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes of this movie, it's fucking.
You would give it 100%.
Yeah,
that's a total gem.
No, the first and last minutes are great.
Those awesome. Middle 86 minutes, on the other hand.
Can we just say that this movie establishes so much goodwill to take Dylan's word?
Yeah. Absolutely.
The minutes, like, I'm like, holy shit, this movie is gonna rip dicks and fucking crush.
I probably gave it 30-40 minutes from that.
I kept waiting for it to come back on track, and it never did.
Nothing happens.
The thing is, there's no payoff. Like we set up so much stuff, and I was like ready for like this all these practical effects. I was ready. We see like this weird demon in the beginning. That's like
it looks so good.
Yeah. We see this like puppet.
It's like a skeletal dragon.
And dude, it was gonna be raw.
That's actually like probably 30 minutes in, to be honest.
And then even when we see the house is sort of like painted up on this hill.
They did lots of things right. We can say that.
At the very beginning, you're like, man, this is gonna be like the perfect level of 80s cheese, like fun fest, and then it's just not fun.
And it's even set on Halloween night, which already gives you so much fucking.
It's gonna be good. You're building up in your mind. This is gonna be good. It's gonna be great. And then what the fuck do they do with all that?
I have a hard time pinpointing what sucks most about this movie. But something just starts sucking about
this movie is uncomfortable
at a certain moment.
Well, I'm telling you right now,
you're right. That's it. It's uncomfortable. Why is that?
Because it's uncomfortable. It's just gratuitous. They don't know which words to say, which body parts to show to get you to attach to it. So they just make shitty jokes that you don't laugh at.
We talked about how we think
they just show tits the whole time.
This movie thinks it's smarter than it is.
Exactly.
It's almost like every character is constantly making an over-the-top joke. That's insane.
No one's laughing.
But and I have to come back to this. Like, it could have been saved almost in editing. That every time they make one of those shitty jokes, there's like this weird pause.
Yeah.
Where like nobody reacts. It's like the crickets, basically.
It's like a sitcom. It's like for us to laugh.
But it doesn't have a laugh track.
Yeah.
And then you're just like,
pause for laugh.
But the problem is
pause for laugh.
Even the characters are annoyed.
They know that it's not funny.
They're just like, well, fuck, that was he just called her a bitch. Great,
And here's my main gripe. We're talking about gripes, and it's not a very fucking cinematic term, but nothing happens.
Yes.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens in this movie.
Not much happens.
People gradually turn into demons, but they're also people that you didn't give a shit about to begin with.
Yeah,
and you don't know why they turned into when they turned into
Most of the characters are just fucking dicks.
I can't remember what the trigger was for that one girl to become a demon, but she did.
Which one? Which one?
The girl that took her clothes off.
Which one?
Yeah, that was.
I don't know. Like, I want to say there was like two things that I had positive to say, and then I'm gonna shit on it for the rest of it.
Cool.
One of them was like, I kind of liked that weird dance scene.
Yeah.
There was this really weird music. It sounded like maybe someone was talking backwards.
Straight out of Return of the Living Dead.
It
like some Danzig shit or something.
It reminded me of like a David Lynch movie, and I thought that was cool.
It was Linnea Quigley again, who like is doing the exact same thing she does in Return of the Living Dead. But she was clothed.
I actually want to say like I think she's pretty good at that.
Yeah, she's about the only thing.
Her dancing was actually pretty
and you can tell they agreed because they put that on screen for a long time,
and that was cool. Like, it reminded me of some weird surreal shit,
but also an uncomfortably long time, because it hits a point where you're like, why is this still happening?
Even the character, he leaves the room. The charger leaves the room. I wish I was him.
That is actually just that is the watcher of that movie.
There's a lot of times that happens
in a different movie.
Characters just leave the rooms because they're uncomfortable.
The second thing was a character puts lipstick into their nipple.
That's true.
And it disappears.
She swallows lipstick.
How did they do that?
With her nipple.
And that's it. The rest of the movie
those
sucks.
are the best parts.
But you know what I read about pay off in any way.
I read that the makeup artist who kind of
designed that,
conjured that up, ended up marrying that girl, and that's how they met.
That's really
spent enough time working on her nipples.
He's like, listen, girl, I spent 40 hours developing that nipple consumption, so you're gonna marry me.
I think that's a pretty cute story.
That's the best marriage
the only
speech.
good thing to come out of this movie.
Like, how'd you guys meet? Oh, I put lipstick in her nipple.
Well, I just want to build a little off of what man said. Like, there are some pretty cool looking stuff in this movie. Like, the sets look cool.
Moments,
like, it's a good looking movie. Like, if you just saw screen caps, you'd think it was like amazing.
It's not like amateur amateur in the way that it looks,
No.
but
Right.
then the execution is so amateur.
The way that like people put like The Shining on YouTube and make it into a comedy trailer, I could make this trailer into something that looks awesome.
Dude, this is made. I'm convinced.
I totally agree. If you watch the trailer of this movie, I bet it was fucking sick.
I bet that this movie is made by a makeup artist. Like
maybe
it feels like
somebody who like understands the things that are supposed to be cool, but doesn't understand how to make them cool.
But the makeup's
not that great.
It's not that great.
No,
but if you actually go look at it, like a lot of the sets look pretty good. The people themselves look good, but they don't actually like do any crazy.
The last 2 minutes has some pretty
that
good.
last scene.
Again, first 2 minutes, last 2 minutes. There's enough footage in this film to make a cool YouTube video for 30 minutes.
Honestly, you could spoil the ending because like
nothing happened. I mean,
it has nothing to do with the movie.
Names I don't remember. I don't care about lives.
A dude eats razor blades
and they come out of his throat.
And it comes out of his throat.
It was
rough. It bleeds everywhere, and we're just like, what?
But it's like tongue in cheek, and that part is actually really funny.
Can we just say that was the biggest payoff in the movie?
There's the payoff.
He sets it up early on that he's going to do that with those apples.
It's the first thing in the movie. Yeah,
he says, "I'm going to put razor blades in these kids' apples,s," and then at the very end of the movie, he suddenly comes back for no reason.
The rest of the movie completely forgettable. What Devin and I kept coming up with while we were watching this one was Hell House, which is
Hell Night.
Hell Night, yeah, sorry.
Hell House, I already forgot the name.
Yeah, it's fucking sucks. It's Linda Blair.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's boring. There's no tension whatsoever. This movie's the same thing.
Specifically, there's scenes of 1 or 2 people walking through hallways constantly,
so goddamn long,
with stupid music like like there's supposed to be tension, but it's just people walking and walking.
I feel like tension's a good word. Tension is something that skilled movie makers and producers actually put into films. This movie didn't have any tension.
After doing this podcast, I've sort of realized like how hard it is to build tension.
It is, it's a skill, and you appreciate it.
It is. I think the thing that separates good horror movies from great horror movies.
Here's what blows my mind is that this movie was the highest rated for user reviews of the ones we watched tonight.
Are you kidding me?
No. And here's the thing. I kept thinking through the whole thing that this one,
fuck this movie.
We're going to offend so many neckbeards by shitting on this movie because this is one that I feel like people remember really well because it was maybe the first time they saw boobs or the first time they saw gore in the 80s. Oh, sorry. Shit.
There's not any gore.
But there's not really any gore, and there's boobs, but like there's a lot of boobs. Everything's disappointing about this movie.
This movie is just 80s like horror trash. I think this is
trash.
It's the worst of the horror genre.
It's late 80s. There's so many great ones that came out in the early 80s that were fucking
something good.
Dude,
it's just cheap and dumb.
You've seen other movies that are fucking better than your dumbass movie. Just do something like that. I mean, it's not that.
I'm with Devin on this one, dude. Like, if something came out before you that was better, just fucking steal from them.
Just
at least the movie will be acceptable.
If you're gonna end up making,
they had Hell Night, which was bad. You know not what not to do, and they just remade Hell Night.
Yes, and I am convinced that a lot of the reason that this movie is highly rated is because of the
gratuitous nudity.
Yeah, the gratuitous nudity. I think it is the movie people grew up watching, and they're like, have you seen this movie, like this crazy horror movie with all these like tits and like sex? Like, no, I haven't.
There's a shot that's like almost a minute long of just somebody's ass.
Oh yeah,
just facing the camera.
That was very early on,
and it's really awkward.
Everything in this movie is taken to its awkward limit. Like, how long can we keep this thing on here until you don't want to see it anymore? And then do that.
The sweet spot is as soon as they show it, I want it gone because none of this movie sticks with me.
The sweet spot of this movie is when the credits roll.
It's dumb. This movie is just dumb.
All right, let's review it.
I'll start it off, but the last point I wanted to make is that there's actual like horror movies that come out where like porn stars are cast as the roles because they're basically trying to make this middling ground of porn and horror just because they can get away with it with this genre. This to me is as close to that as possible without being exactly that.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that the director wanted sex. They wanted people to go to the...
It feels like a Hustler production.
Yes, exactly. It's something like
cheap
that.
Cheap and shitty.
And it's a total cheap shot. Yeah, great point. Great word. In fact, it's cheap. It's a cheap shot. I wouldn't want to... It's not worth watching just for and the sex and the fucking nudity isn't even worth watching.
It's fucking terrible,
dumb,
too.
And it's really... Ugh.
There's a couple scenes. There's a fucking dude who has razor blades in his neck, and there's a chick who puts a lipstick thing into her nipple.
Which you've never seen before.
Which is something...
How did they do it, though?
Yeah, guaranteed.
She actually did it. It's real.
It's a thing
she really
does.
Oh, wow.
It's a parlor trick.
She has a nipple mouth.
Well, then I'm impressed.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Those are the two things worth watching. Oh, also, the intro with the music.
The intro is so
fucking
good.
raw.
The intro's like animated. It looks like Creepshow.
It's
great.
very Creepshow.
It was so good.
And the music's fucking amazing.
Cool.
That 80 centy shit. And then there's 86 minutes of absolute garbage.
That's where it builds the goodwill and just...
Absolutely. So, guys, not worth watching. Don't do it, despite the reviews. It's a total stinker. And, Manton, you want to pick it up from here?
Yeah, this movie's not very good. I don't like it. It's a stinker.
That's a stinker. Bluester, do you want to pick it up?
I'll take it, man. Yeah, for sure. I'm actually really glad to hear you all say these things because I had to leave the room like some of the characters in the movie. Occasionally, just didn't.
That is the funniest.
To do anything
so
else.
many times.
That's the funniest connection. There's a scene of a dude like awkwardly trying to leave the room and sneak out. That's
felt,
like us.
He
felt what the audience felt.
He was like, this girl's fucking weird, and he just like.
And
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, she's fucking weird.
This movie's fucking dumb.
This is dumb.
I'm leaving.
Dumb is a good word. I gotta say, man, this movie is offensive just because I think it's like the worst of the horror genre, and it's in like the best decade. It had so much good to take from.
It's a shame.
It had great music. It had the great intro. It had some great scenes, some great makeup, and it fucking took all that and made one of the shittiest movies I've seen. And
it's bad.
This movie is offensive and not in any good ways. Not like Inside or anything. Like it doesn't do anything with my distaste for it. This movie's a stinker. Don't ever watch it. If you're one of the people that gave this a high review, then
reevaluate.
You're not my friend,
on.
man. This to me, this reminds me a lot of Last House on the Left. It is disgusting and don't.
Yeah, but at least Last House on the Left was also like offensive. This is just bad offensive.
I don't know what to say, man. They both leave me with the same sour taste.
Yeah.
Dylan, what you got?
This is in a lot of ways, I think, the kind of horror movie that makes outsiders hate horror movies.
Yes, that's why I don't like it.
Everything about it it's just dumb. It's just there's no reason for any of it to happen, and it's gratuitous in every conceivable way. And if anybody were to wander into this movie, like I don't know, like my grandmother were to wander into this movie, she would make me like just I don't know, make me want to reevaluate everything I'm doing with my life because this is the kind of thing that I'm watching. It's dumb. It's really, really dumb. And to what end? Like most movies have a point or something. I don't know why this movie was made. I genuinely don't.
I don't get it.
And it's the kind of thing that just leaves a bad taste in everybody who has good sense in their mouth. And if you really do like this movie, I do encourage you to rewatch it from the perspective of an outsider because it's objectively a bad movie. It's just not good. No. And it's a stinker.
And may I reiterate, it's fucking boring.
It's boring as hell.
God damn,
boring.
This movie's boring.
Even as offensive as they get, this movie is so boring.
There was a point, and it's really sad because like it seemed like there was a decent setup, but like there was a point in the movie where we were like, holy shit, can something just fucking happen?
Yeah.
We were begging for anything to happen. Like, please, just someone die, someone get murdered, fucking
also,
cut somebody in half.
Yes,
I just want to say,
anything.
It Follows totally stole the ending off this movie.
Really?
Well, in the sense of people
kidding.
walking away from the camera.
I will say,
don't even put It Follows tied to the name of this movie.
I'm kidding.
Get out of here.
Well, goddamn, I couldn't be happier to say that we're going to move on to our last movie.
Jesus, thank you.
Yes,
of the night.
Please, God.
Oh, God, it's from Italy, which is weird because usually those are fucking boring, too.
Yep, they're fucking freaky.
But they are freaky.
This one started off that way.
Yeah.
But my God.
It's a bait and switch almost.
If you could remind me the director.
Baja Blast.
Not the Bava.
It's Bava.
It's Lamberto Bava.
Lamberto Bava. It is Demons. Demons from also the 80s, similar time period.
Produced by Argento.
It's not Mario Bava. It's Luigi Bava.
Lamberto.
It's
Luigi.
Mario Brothers.
Oh boy, I think the script is also written by Argento, I believe.
So basically, it has
I think
all
so.
Wait, Argento wrote this script?
I think so.
Good job, dude. You made one that made sense.
Yes.
He was a writer. To be fair, how do you fuck this up? There's nothing to fuck up.
That's true.
Hey, if anybody's gonna do it, it's Argento.
To be fair, I can find a couple of ways that this could have fucked up and didn't. And
Goddamn, Bluester, please tell me about it.
So with that introduction you just got, this movie has all the trappings of a complete piece of garbage.
Just a disaster.
I don't like Italian horror. You know that. I don't like Argento. I don't know how he's so famous, but goddamn, we got demons, and I almost was completely turned off to the demon theme, like a demonic movie. I'm like, well, no wonder haunted house movies became more famous because every movie about demons is fucking shit. But then demons came along, and hot damn, my heart got resuscitated, baby. Okay, you couldn't get an easier setup, dude. We got a girl. She's introduced to this weird masked character who gives her a ticket, almost like a golden ticket.
Don't forget the Inspector Gadget music.
Inspector Gadget music.
The opening music is amazing and has the Inspector Gadget.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
Total 80s synth pop, but it definitely has.
It's synth rock. Like that's what's great about this one. It's just straight up hair metal.
It's got some Inspector Gadget in it.
Anyway, Inspector Gadget accuses us. We got some synth rock. A girl gets a ticket to a midnight kind of like movie. She doesn't know what the movie is. She doesn't know where she's going, but she goes to a theater. She wrangles up some friends, and and
the Metropole.
Exactly, Metropole.
Yep.
It's cool. It has like this really cool like neon light, like beautiful.
The one thing that this, the Italian aspect of this is that it looks beautiful. This movie, I just want to say,
it's great looking.
The sets look great.
Also,
like,
the bad
environments.
overdubbing. That's there too.
Oh, it's definitely there.
Oh yeah,
in full force.
You will laugh at that. That's fair warning. You will laugh at the dubbing,
but you should be.
But you should be. You laugh at. You laugh with. This is a. Anyway, keep going, Bleedster.
All right, it is Italian. Let's not forget that. Argento just kind of got it right this time. It's very Italian. It has crazy color palettes, crazy weird lighting and angles. Anyway, all these people are coming together to this movie theater to watch a movie. They don't know what it is. They don't know if it's horror. They don't know if it's comedy. They come in and they've got some weird demonic statues. This samurai is riding a fucking Kawasaki motorcycle.
Which is dope.
And there's this mask that we feel like we might have seen before.
Any question?
It's like there's a guy that looks like it. So this girl comes in. She puts the mask on. She gets a little cut on her face. She's like, whatever. She's being dumb. Shouldn't have been playing with the stuff.
Right.
They go in and watch the movie. Everybody's watching it. We find out
movie about Nostradamus.
Right. It's pretty meta. We're in a movie theater watching a movie, right?
Yeah.
So it's about these kids that are trying to find they're exploring these ruins and they find some writings from Nostradamus or Nosferatu.
Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter.
They find out this demon mask in the statue, right? And this girl puts the mask on. And she gets a cut on her face, just like the girl in the lobby, just like the girl in the movie that we're watching who's watching a movie. It's fucking meta, right?
It's meta as fuck.
It's really meta.
If you're still listening, dude, just keep watching because all of a sudden shit just goes buck fucking wild.
It is.
Yes.
We find out that this mask in the movie and the one in real life has some kind of weird demonic, connection
thing.
The girl starts getting, she starts feeling sick. She goes to the bathroom, and I know you guys are gonna pick up from this, but shit starts getting buck fucking wild. We watch the movie. The girl transforms. What happens next?
Demons.
Let me start off by saying this movie, before this, I thought Scream was one of the most fucking monumental and groundbreaking movies in horror.
Scream
now
stole
I'm starting
this.
to think that Scream might have borrowed
it first.
a page or 20.
There's a scene from Scream 2 that is genuinely this movie. It is exactly there's a certain point in this movie that involves the screen,
right,
the actual
absolutely.
Screen
that was cool.
that is straight up in Scream 2.
That was my point.
2, like they were watching
it's
a movie
a stab
about Scream.
thing, and also this is a movie about.
Big ups though, Wes Craven, for taking the right thing because this movie is dope.
Yeah.
To obnoxiously summarize what Brewster said, it's a movie about people watching a horror movie,
which
to an extent. But first off, I love it. These people are. I even made the joke, and it was kind of a halfway joke that we're watching two horror movies at the same time.
Yeah,
you are.
You're watching a slasher on their screen, and then you're watching demons on your own screen.
Well, can I say one thing that was fun is that we're watching. It's an older movie, so we're watching people's reactions to a horror movie, and I kind of want to imagine that's maybe what it was like watching movies back then. They were genuinely freaked out by everything.
We watched this after Demonic, and I was like,
yes.
we're finally watching two horror movies at the same time. This makes up for the last.
Yeah, we've actually only watched 3 movies.
We considered reviewing the movie in the movie as well.
I would have much rather,
because that was a gem.
More happened in the movie inside the movie,
and it made more sense despite you not seeing most of the movie.
That is so true. More happened in the movie than both movies we watched.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Other than this one.
So let's talk about this movie. This movie fucking rips.
So once they start turning into demons, they do it violently. The people are starting to rupture a little bit. There's claws growing out from underneath their fingernails.
Gross body horror.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of Dead Alive. Yeah. I kept thinking of Dead Alive.
Exactly. The effects are over the top and awesome.
They're barfing
very much like Dead Alive.
Green slime.
A lot of goop. Yeah,
and this movie is tongue in cheek in the right way. It knows how.
It's tongue in cheek in the right way, and then everybody in the movie is serious about what's happening.
Yes,
but
they have weird, funny overdubs.
Them making the movie, they're winking. They're clearly winking at you, and you're having so much fun just watching this happen.
So one major thing that makes this movie amazing, and I don't know the dude's name, but he's basically the Italian Tom Savini, the makeup artist. The goddamn gore in this movie is unbelievable.
It's disgusting. It actually succeeds at grossing you out.
There was a point where I gagged. I swear to God. I was like, I'm going to have to leave the room, or I'm going to barf. I feel like I'm going to barf right now just talking about it.
It's a lot of pus stuff that you haven't seen since
finger damage.
It was the scene where the chick falls off the balcony, and then the demon falls on him.
God.
Yeah. And I'm just like, good Lord.
It reminded me of Intruder, where it's this practical disgustingness, it's practical effects, and we were all just screaming, and we were all just like, oh oh, sick!
Standing O's, just fucking clapping in the air.
Yeah.
It's great. It is so.
I'm shocked this is not a cult classic.
I think it is, but I think we didn't know about it.
Right.
Exactly. For all the disgusting body horror, though, this movie is a fucking badass action film.
Oh my
literally thrashing metal, just blaring through the whole movie.
God, the soundtrack makes this movie.
Soundtrack's amazing.
We have
perfect.
It's like Motley Crue and shit. It's like
there's literally Billy Idol
White
Weddings in it. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Also, if you didn't hear earlier, Inspector Gadget's in it.
Yes, the Inspector Gadget.
They totally stole the Inspector Gadget.
There's a lot of scenes where people are just like running around. There's zombies coming after them. It's just like shredding guitar. It's so fun.
One thing that this movie does really well is, you know, we talked about like demonic, which introduces a lot of characters, and then you're supposed to care about them but don't. This one introduces a bunch of characters and is like, you got them? Fuck it, whatever. And then it just starts killing them, and it's about the action, and like people die when you least expect it, and people are like just thrown around. Shit goes into chaos.
Doesn't matter,
but it doesn't matter, and you're fine with that because everybody just fits like this certain one-dimensional, you know, archetype that you need them to at that moment.
I kind of loved it though because like we would have these action heroes just appear from nowhere. They're like all of a sudden courageous, and we just follow them because they're
the dude with the fucking like just sideburns on, like
fucking
love him. White suit just starts like kicking ass.
Didn't even know his name. I got sad when he got attacked.
When he got attacked.
I hate to sidetrack, but I have to make the point that it was so funny. We all like sat down. We even chose strategically when to watch the movie because we were expecting a slow, boring ass Italian giallo.
And for it to make no damn sense.
And we were basically like, here we go. Okay, guys, we're gonna do demons now. Yeah. So that kind of added to how goddamn blown away
we weren't ready for this. Fuck away.
To be fair though, the beginning is actually a little bit slow. Like, it starts like a giallo, and then it just bait and switches on a dime.
We gave it good grades because we liked the music, and we were like, we can enjoy giallos, guys.
The moment that the demons start popping out,
and then you're like, oh,
it just does a 180, and it's like, you're fucking. You thought this was this movie? It's not.
Yes.
What's cool is like we have the characters in the beginning who are kind of like the main character is sort of shitty, and by the end of the movie, he becomes this fucking hero, this action hero.
He looks like a date rapist to begin with, and then eventually he's just
we're like laughing at how creepy and dumb and lame he is, and then he becomes like Bruce.
By the end of the movie, he's got like his sleeves ripped off, his muscles just glistening.
Yeah, it's a role that Bruce Campbell should
I was gonna say,
he's
Bruce Campbell and Evil Dead. That's who they're kind of probably trying to emulate, but they do it very well.
They do it great.
It's so funny that you bring him up because this movie felt so goddamn American.
Oh yeah,
it really does.
That's
blazing metal.
I kept on saying that. I was like, is this in Italy or fucking America?
This feels like a parody of like America.
Yes.
And I was thinking,
and it totally is.
But all the best things about it, though.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you got all the. We literally called him cool guy, cooler guy, and coolest.
There's a side story with like these
cokeheads
who are driving around in a car with cocaine in a Coke can. Which is
clever.
I guess kind of clever. And like they're just shit heels. Like there's nothing to their story except the fact that they eventually run into the movie theater. Only to be goddamn offed. Like, no spoilers. Like, there's no point.
There's such a build-up for these characters. We're like, what are they doing?
But I'm like, who gives a shit?
But this movie does everything else so right that we can have fun with it, though. Like, whereas our previous two movies, we would have been pissed off and like, fuck these characters. We kind of loved watching them in their descent.
The nearest analog is Dead Alive, because Dead Alive does like all these like characters who really don't matter, but they introduce them simply for just an absolute cathartic bloodbath.
You guys do not get it, listeners. The body count in this movie is fucking. It is comparable to a Dead Alive type movie.
Well, I love the setup and payoff. Like in the beginning of the movie, again, there's a samurai on a motorcycle.
Yes.
Oh my god!
I kept saying, when is this going to come into play? Oh, don't worry.
Just for display.
Nothing goes overlooked.
No, nothing.
Which is like another credit to this movie. There's lots of detail orientation. Like they don't forget shit. It comes back. It plays out to some kind of.
I think there's one woman who dies with some scalp injury. She comes back. Like I was worried. I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. And then it just comes back eventually. I'm like, oh, cool.
Let's talk. If we're talking specifics, goddamn, there's some back gore where something busts out of somebody's back.
Dude, that was fucking raw. It was a little.
And this little demon runs away.
My god, this movie is so much fun. Fun is just the key word.
I'm about to blow your mind, and you guys are gonna get little boners when I tell you.
I already have one. Don't worry.
All right, I'm gonna tell you this. That in the first PlayStation Silent Hill, they have a Metropole theater.
What?
With posters of this movie in it. Nice. Isn't that cool as shit?
That is cool.
So I guess whoever the creators of the first, who would it have been?
Kojima.
I don't remember.
No, it wasn't Kojima.
But whoever created it were fans of this fucking movie, and I looked at screenshots of it. I looked at screenshots. It looks exactly the same. It's just this big ass theater that says Metropole.
I want to go. I mean, the whole thing is that this theaters trying to turn people into demons, but I still want to go to it. I don't care if I get turned into a fucking demon. It'll be fun. Like,
that's a perk. Do I have to pay extra? Because I will.
Exactly.
It's like 3D
there. Well, we have to say that they go to the theater, and then like I guess the theater consumed them because they try to exit, and like all the walls are blocked, and then it's just like really simple. Like, how can they get out? Like. This movie is straightforward,
but nobody behaves like really dumb in this movie.
No,
like,
that's surprising.
They behave pretty reasonably.
They work together. They blockade doors.
There's one character in particular who like gets slashed by the demons, and they carry it in their blood or whatever. So you're gonna turn into a demon.
Yes, I love that.
And he realizes he's gonna turn into a demon. He's like, "Fucking kill me right now."
I feel like me and Blue Steel high-fived each other. We were like, "This guy's a true gem of a guy,
dude."
But also, we gotta talk about the poor man's Mr. T or the.
I love him. He's
Sideburn boy.
He had so many just literal laugh out loud lines that were clearly written to be funny.
This movie's got one-liners out the ass.
Yes, he's super dramatic, but it's
break everything.
Yes, it's totally not in your face like this is funny, laugh motherfuckers either. It's like it's genuinely funny. It's not over the top.
Yeah. What's funny is like
weird. They just aced it.
Apparently, he's in the second movie. He's in it, but as a different character.
Also, the second movie doesn't follow it follows the plot of the first one, but it ignores everything that happens in the first one.
Oh God! Now we got to talk about the ending of this movie.
Because the ending is nuts.
Okay.
The start of this movie and
the ending is fucking beautiful.
Can't spoil too much.
No,
of the ending,
absolutely not.
My God, the ending takes it into like. Just you thought they were done? No,
and you reflect on how the movie started because you're like,
you go from one movie to a second movie.
Yes,
and we wanted to.
And we're like, please keep going. Yes,
I think all of us agreed that we wanted the movie to keep going for another
hour and a half. Yes,
and we just watched the next movie.
Absolutely.
Yes, and then literally the credits came and we all were high fiving. We were happy. It said it was ended, but then the credits stopped so they could show us something.
So they could show an awesome ass twist.
Yes.
And then just
interruption, and then they just kept on going.
It's better than the last two movies we watched. Calling it.
So guys, do not turn it off when the credits roll. I mean, they're fucking.
No, I almost did. I almost fucking turned it off once the credits started.
God, it's so funny.
Oh boy,
it's like they were just Bava. I actually read that Bava had the most fun he ever had creating a movie with this one,
God,
and
you can tell.
It shows.
That's so clear. Yes, in this movie.
Dead Alive reminds me of this movie because it just looks like everyone had fun making it,
and it's disgusting.
And it's filthy.
It's so disgusting. The gore is Tom Savini.
It's disgusting
level.
In a really fun way.
Yeah,
it's so over the top and silly that you're just
I was literally groaning.
Yeah, it's not life running. You laugh. You
it's
laugh,
like Macabre in that way, where like it's super gory, but man, it's fun.
But this is much more.
This is more fun for sure. Yeah, Macabre's not a fun movie. It just can be that if you're
very much closer to Dead Alive.
Dead Alive is the closest.
Or Brain Dead by Peter Jackson.
So much fun.
So guys, I guess we can go ahead and go into our reviews. This one I think is going to be a breeze to go through. So Bluester, you want to kick it off?
Absolutely, and I think the reason I introduced this movie is because everybody expects me to shit on Italian movies. I mean, I've been very vocal that I think a lot of Italian horror and slasher movies are just boring. They don't make any sense, and they're just way too convoluted for their own damn good.
Right. I don't mean to interject, but I do want to make the point that Italian movies are very notable for gore. They did the gore really well, and this movie is absolutely not an exception. So that's the one thing that you can kind of take away from Italian movies. But I'm totally with you, Bluester. Most of the time, I'm bored to death from these giallos, other than the gore.
No, but I agree with Devin. Like, they do the gore very well, and their movies are very pretty. I don't want to say that, but
yes.
It's very refreshing to me that I have this, and maybe it's just because they're trying to appeal to my American simple brain, but I watched this movie. It was fucking easy as shit to follow, and I literally followed the characters, even if I didn't know their names. Like, and that's what you want in a movie. You want it to be easy to follow. It shifts and it changes, and it never once loses you. And you're always concerned about who's on screen, and you're like, shit, kind of don't want him to die.
This is a Rat Brain movie, man.
This is a Rat Brain movie in the best possible way. It has the best soundtrack. Everything you see early on in the movie pays off later, and it sticks together. And I have to say that please watch this all the way through the end. The beginning that you watch is absolutely nothing like
so weird.
You're going to see.
Completely different.
And I'm going to say right now, if they had kept the consistency from movie 1 to 2, I think this could have been one of the best franchises ever.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It could have easily competed with American Greats, been legendary status. Yeah. If you haven't picked it up already, this movie's a fucking gem. It's fun as hell to watch. I want to go rewatch it right now.
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna go off of that and say that this movie is almost like an Italian dude making a parody of a send-up of American horror in a very loving way.
Yeah,
like you know this dude loves Evil Dead. You know this dude's seen movies.
It's
and he does it perfectly, and to the point of like the characters, like you don't know, maybe you don't memorize the names, but you like I love the blind dude and his niece. I like the loving couple. I like the two dudes that hit on the. I mean, you remember them. You remember the characters. Yeah. They're very memorable, and this movie is not great for that. This movie's goddamn insane, over the top, gory, and fucking awesome, and so goddamn fun. This is a movie that I would just call fun beyond belief.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
And this, is it a gem?
I don't know about that.
That's a fucking gem. Dylan, what do you think?
This one's quickly getting added to a new type of genre that I really love, which is party horror.
Yes.
Like movies that are just stupid fun to watch with a lot of people. Like,
I like that.
Everybody just goes, oh, and ah, like everybody's reacting to it. And this movie is smart about that because it takes place in a movie theater where people are doing that. Like this movie is smart and dumb at the same time and hits both of those perfectly, because it starts off as this kind of meta horror movie, and then it just goes, you know what, fuck it, I don't care, let's have some fun. Yeah. And starts the blood flowing and the demons running around and people just dying left and right. And every moment of it is fun. Even the build up to it is worth it. Absolutely. For the fact that this movie goes into places that you never thought a movie was going to do. And I just had a blast watching this. I haven't been as excited by a horror movie in a very long time.
Absolutely.
And it did save the night.
Without this, we would have been ruined.
Yeah, this one is a total fucking gem. I love it.
And one thing I forgot to mention that I have to mention is that literally during this movie, as it was ending, I started emailing our local theaters, Village 8 and Baxter, because I know they do like personal, like you can like rent out theaters. And I was like, yes, we have to watch this in a movie theater.
Yeah, that would be so fucking raw.
I think they've shown Demons at Baxter.
I don't doubt it.
Oh my god, that's the perfect movie to show in a theater setting.
Come October, they start doing it like all the time and like at midnights.
So I'm gonna make if they have a reasonable rate and we can get people to like throw in, that's a movie that I feel like I have to watch in theaters.
Yeah, it'd be so good.
So Manton, you close it off.
Shit, you guys have like taken everything I wanted to say. This movie is a fucking blast. Like there was points in the movie where they were just like out of nowhere that you would, especially in the beginning, they would just put on this like shredding thrash metal. And we all looked at each other. We were like, okay, are you hearing this? Are you seeing this shit? And we were all just like cheering and fucking loving it. This movie is an absolute blast. I can't recommend it enough. It's so fucking fun. It's a gem.
It's bizarre this movie is not as more popular.
I was going to say, that's the only thing that's sad about this movie.
It's got a cult following, but it's a very silent cult following for a movie as awesome as this.
This is one of those movies where, like, I'm so glad we do the podcast because, like...
I want to shout it from the fucking rooftops, man.
Yes.
And I'm just so glad that there's still... I always worry. Whenever we see a movie like this,
this is one of those movies.
I worry because I'm like, surely there's nothing else like this. And then I see this, and I'm like, okay... There must be more. We can dig up
so many gems.
There must be more.
And I even want to make the point that I didn't find this on some weird obscure list when I researched a shit ton of movies you have to see.
I didn't even have to draw any pictures of like Ninja Turtles.
There you go. Right.
Whatever.
No, fighting. But we knew we were doing a demon thing. We had the first two, so I literally just Googled demon horror movies, and this one showed up. Like it wasn't on this
because it's called Demons.
It's called Demons.
That's probably why.
But I'm saying like it wasn't like this list like movies you have to watch if you're a horror fan. It was just I Googled demon horror movie and I saw it had a 6.4.
It's a crime that this one got forgotten.
Yes,
it's a crime that this is rated lower than the other two.
Yeah,
can you believe that? Let's just remember that this is lower than Night of the Demons. Can you believe
this is lower than Demonic? Are you shitting my ass?
It's not lower than Demonic.
I was going to say Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Demonic is straight under the barrel. It's below the barrel.
Thank God.
It doesn't deserve to be mentioned in the same sentence as barrels.
Oh boy, nice. Freddie got fingered. But no, this has still surprisingly high user reviews for a horror, which is why we watch it in the first place. But fucking awesome, guys. That's 4 gems, and like Dylan said, we want to shout it from the goddamn rooftops.
Thank God for this movie. Save the cast.
Was this a totally unanimous cast?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Is that then maybe the first?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah, somebody else will tell us. We don't have
Ironically, though, I feel like we had more kind of debate / argument in this than...
Well, that's because I really
loathe
didn't like
Demonic.
If you could have given it like a third kind of like...
and I think we would have been
Jim Stinker and just fucking kill yourself.
I gave it the
watch
stinkiest of the stinky.
You really did. You gave it your stinkiest fart.
Yeah. So, anyways, not to get back on that, we're gonna close up here, but not before we do our game.
Oh yeah.
You want to play a game?
If Devin wants to enrage us, he'll give a positive review of Demonic.
Oh, dear.
Man.
Man's head will
So
explode.
here's the funny thing, that we came and watched all 3 movies in a row together tonight, which is very atypical of
It's
us.
rare.
First time
we
we've
do
done
it every
that.
time.
So I had to pick reviews without having seen them, because I hadn't seen any of these movies before. So I wish I could have sought out certain reviews, and I would have done something like that to fuck with you guys.
You didn't know how bad it was going to be.
I didn't know how bad these movies were going to be or how good they were going to be. So I just kind of
That's fair.
And this will be indicative in the first review. I can't wait for it. So it's our review game where we have 2 user reviews. They're usually negative reviews, and one's going to be for the pertinent movie. Like, we're going to start off with Night of the Demons. And the other one's going to be completely random, a total different movie, and these guys got to decide which one's for which. And it can be harder than you think. So we're going to start off with this one, which is not going to be very hard because I didn't know going into this movie what it was about.
Come on.
So first review. Only the girls' tits and asses were worth a vote for 5 stars.
Are we talking about Demonic here?
This is
No.
Night,
Oh, I was
Night
going
of
to
the
say.
Demons.
Okay. Okay.
And there's my point. The other one is 2 stars. I don't give it a 1 star because I gave Rosemary Baby a 1. A nothing is worse than Rosemary Baby.
Rosemary, baby.
That sounds exactly like what you'd be trolling with on our Twitter.
That is
Rosemary Baby.
I want to read that one again, and this is word for word, guys. I'm not misspeaking here. 2 stars. I don't want to give it a 1 star because I gave Rosemary Baby a 1. A nothing is worse than Rosemary Baby. That's a human being who typed that out.
No, it isn't. That's a bot.
Posted it to IMDb. But
Thank you, user.
Anyway, which one do you guys?
It's 1, dude.
It's definitely 1 because that's the type of person who thinks this movie's good.
Yes.
All one of the tits for 5 stars.
Oh, the tits for 5 stars,
Big booby,
though.
I like them.
I don't even need to hear it from men. It is. You guys are right. It's
both
number
those
1.
Fuck
reviews.
this movie.
I
But do
jabbed
you wanna
off
know-
the tatas.
Do you want to know what the other one's for?
Rosemary, baby.
And this one will
The
shock
remake?
you guys, and I love this every time. It's for Evil Dead.
Are you kidding
The
me?
original.
Fuck off.
This person.
Wait, this person did give Rosemary Baby once.
To be fair,
I've never seen Rosemary Baby.
So
I heard
basically
it's
they're
really
realizing
bad.
there's
It's
a
not
tier
bad.
that we have Rosemary Baby, then we have Evil Dead.
it's not a
Rosemary
horror
Baby.
movie. It's actually like a
Evil
fun adventure.
Dads.
It's like about a baby who cooks in a fucking kitchen. And
Oh, okay. That
5-star
sounds kind of
chef.
nice. I mean, it's
I
nice.
have seen Rosemary's
Rosemary
Baby.
Oh,
Rosemary's a good cooking
baby.
ingredient.
It's like Ratatouille, but a baby.
Oh, that's our second Ratatouille reference.
Just
on
under-
this
Listen,
What's
if you guys
that?
want to listen to our Pixar / Ratatouille podcast,
we got that going.
we do that on Wednesdays.
Just Ratatouille. We review it every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, and we also marathon it every day for a month. Every day of the year.
Good stuff.
Moving on, guys. We're going to let's go to
A dark
demonic,
place.
Demonic.
which is a dark place.
Oh boy.
We'll go to demonic. First one is suckling the piss out of a dead dog's dick
Wow.
would be more palatable than this shit.
Jesus
I agree.
I agree.
Christ. I agree, but Jesus Christ, I didn't think I agreed.
Suckling the piss out of a dead dog's dick would be more palatable than this shit.
Did the dogdie.com. It's an important website.
Does the dog die? Yeah.
Do you drink it's piss.com? The next one is just this is a good one. Simple.
Thank
simple.
God.
This movie fucking sucks. God damn it.
Yeah. Those are both right.
That's it.
So we got this.
I gotta
movie-
go with the second one because that's essentially just my exasperated remarks on this.
All
I
right,
can't even bring up something about a dead dog's dick.
Manton.
Yeah, the second one for me too.
I want to say it's the first one because that's the kind of visceral reaction you would have to this movie. You'd go out and you'd actually type that out.
No, it's not visceral. That's the problem.
Sucking
That's
the
the
piss
fucking
out of a
problem
dead
with this
dog's
movie.
Man had a visceral reaction. I think it's
Yeah.
possible.
My reaction wasn't visceral. It was just so boring.
I'm about to give you a visceral
positive.
positive answer, Devin. Confirm it.
So you went with the
One.
The one.
Dead dog's dick.
It is 2.
Fuck you, dude.
Yep. What's the dead dog's dick one?
You.
It's from Blucher's favorite movie, The Last Airbender.
Oh my god!
I
bringing that one.
Fuck you all for constantly bringing up M. Night Shyamalan.
You can't forget it.
He is filth. His movies.
You can't have
filth.
a horror podcast without Shyamalan.
To be fair,
Shyamalan Ding Dong.
He's got Shyamalan Ding Dong.
That is the worst movie I've ever seen.
That is the worst movie. Because
You said that in episode 4, and now he's confirming it in episode 32.
I agree with
It
Nick.
is.
I
It really
kind of
is.
have to
It
watch this
honestly
movie now
is.
just to understand.
You know
how
we're gonna
bad this
hate
is.
it.
I know.
He
I haven't
literally
seen it.
has perfect source material. All he had to fucking do was reimagine it into
Here's the
physical
thing.
form.
How did you guys even get finagled and bamboozled into what? You've seen
Those
the
are
shit.
two $4 words, and I won't have them on this
Finagled
cast.
and
Because-
bamboozled.
well, I
But
didn't
you
hate
knew
Shyamalan
who
as
M. Night
much.
was. He was goddamn horrible way
I didn't
before
hate
this
him
movie.
as much until I saw this movie.
The problem was like we
love the
loved
show.
we loved the cartoon.
I know, right.
And like we even saw the 0%
We literally saw the
So,
zero.
so you
rating, and
knew.
They got
You
finagled
knew.
and bamboozled.
But we already
dude.
You got
committed ourselves to
finagled,
watching it.
bamboozled.
I also want to say, if you haven't read Roger Ebert's review of that movie, it is one of the funniest things
It's
I've
so funny.
ever read in my life.
It's just mind blowing how Shyamalan could not take source material and actually
God,
make
let's
anything.
fucking move along.
Fuck that
Please.
movie. God damn
Well,
it.
don't worry. I think Blue's is about to walk out.
It's legitimately the worst movie I've ever
But he's
seen.
got a movie coming out on, when is it again? September 11th.
I'm not watching
The
it.
Visit.
I hope
The
he gets a
Visits.
fucking plane crash into his
Oh,
studio.
Wow. Hey, on
That-
Memorial Day? Jesus Christ, man.
That might need to be edited out.
Wow.
Terrorist kills him.
Wait, that's
Oh my
wait. Suckling the piss out of a
God.
dead dog's dick flies, but that doesn't.
On Memorial Day.
I'll say it doesn't.
Here we
America.
go.
Oh boy.
But he sucks, and the fact that he would release a movie on September 11th is it just feeds into his fucking dumbass.
Yeah, what the fuck? The
He has an
movie's
ego,
not even
dude.
about
He
September.
literally
11th.
wrote him in as God in a movie, right?
Yeah, he is. He is the savior of the known universe in Lady in the Water.
Yes.
He is a character.
So now he's
who
like,
is the
I'm
savior
gonna.
of the known universe.
Oh, you guys haven't seen my movies? Well, I'm gonna make one for September 11th. That's gonna be my comeback. Like, get the fuck over yourself.
My cum.
you
Hey,
freak. Nice.
hey, can we get M. Night Shyamalan on our cast though? Can we interview him?
No.
Shyamalan. M. Night.
M. Night.
Should I call you M or Night?
What does M stand for?
Was that your Christian name? Anyway, that goes to our last movie, which was Demons, which fucking ruled. So if anybody says anything bad about it, then
Fuck
you
'em.
can go fuck yourself.
I'm gonna get mad.
All right.
I'm gonna turn into a demon.
First review is all caps, lots of exclamation points.
It's this one. It's this one.
Yum, demons, yum. That is a
Yes,
fucking.
yes, I love it.
I'm pretty sure a demon wrote that.
I like
Yum, demons, yum.
Yum.
I like demons.
I agree.
Get the
I
fuck
agree.
out. That's awesome.
That was good old Rotten Tomato
Yum.
user review.
Yum,
Yum,
demons,
demons, yum.
Wait, is that a certified critic?
That no.
That's Roger
A.O.
Ebert.
Scott?
That was
Jesus.
Roger Ebert, dude.
He got
Yum,
he got
demons,
taken
yum.
over. All right, and the next one is don't watch unless you have a demon fetish.
Well, I do, so
Bring it on.
bring it on.
So we got yum, demons, yum, and don't even watch unless you have a demon fetish.
I say 2.
All right, what do you say, Dylan?
Yum, demons, yum.
Nice. Is that what you're saying for the game?
Yum,
Are you
yes.
Okay.
I just really like this movie.
Yum.
I want to go with the first one.
Yum, demons, yum.
Yum,
yeah,
demons,
that's
yum.
fun. Like this movie.
It is yum, demons, yum.
There we go.
3 for
Dylan.
3.
I'll follow you into Hellstone, Brimstone, Hellfire.
Absolutely.
I mean, I agree with it. Yeah.
Oh, yum, demons, yum. This movie's
tasty.
yummy.
Demons, yum.
This movie's very yummy.
It's
and
great.
what do you guys think the second one's for? Don't
unless you
watch
have a
unless you have a
demon
demon
fetish.
fetish.
Probably for
Something with naked
Night of the
demons.
Demons. Night of
No,
the
it's
Demons.
something unrelated
With
completely.
naked demons.
All right, it's for Evil Dead 2.
What? That doesn't.
What's all the Evil Dead
What the
hate?
fuck is-
I think they made a joke of
fuck?
because I took a piece out of this review and they talked about like the tree raping the girl or
Yeah, that
there's-
scene is really fucking weird, but that's also in Evil Dead 1.
That's the first one. But they said there was something about a demon fetish, and maybe this guy fucking had one. Maybe he said, "Yes, you should watch this, but
Yes, you
don't."
should.
But let me warn you,
But
fair warning.
I've got a big demon
I've got
fetish.
a huge demon
Yeah.
fetish.
Hey, and I agree with him because yum, demons, yum.
Yum. All right, we're gonna wrap it up right here, guys, because things are getting yummy. Demons are coming out. I just want to one more time say thanks to Craft Shack for providing us
doubt.
We love you, boys.
with our delicious brews. You guys fucking kill it, and you guys are the fucking juice and
You're the demons.
that keeps us going.
Good
And-
Yeah.
juice in our Mad Max engines, right?
Absolutely.
Call me up, send me to Valhalla.
Spit it in my
You're
mouth.
Guzzling.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice. So, guys, thanks again. That's craftshack.com, CRAFT shack.com. And they're on Twitter at craftshackbeer. Go fucking holler at them. Do us a favor. and
Literally holler at them, just yell.
Say yum,
Yum,
demons,
demons,
yum.
Yum. And, guys, we're on iTunes and Stitcher because we release fucking episodes every single Wednesday. So add us to your favorites, your playlist, whatever you do on your dumbass fucking platform.
You don't have to insult it. Come on,
just
man.
fucking do it. God damn it.
Wow, Jesus.
Anyway, iTunes and Stitcher, among other platforms, and we're on email and Twitter. I told you that earlier. We're very responsive,
you said that.
very active. So thanks, Dat Dude, earlier for emailing us. And next time, hopefully, it's some other asshole hadn't sent us the same question.
Some other asshole.
It's our friend.
Way to alienate our new listeners. Come on,
it's our
man.
friend Brennan Edgeman, and he kind of is.
Oh God,
hate him.
So, guys, on behalf of the Horrorble crew, just thanks for listening and stay spooky.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm a demon.
I'm a demon.
Yum, demons, yum.
Nice.
I'm a demon.
I knew that all four of us were trying to say I'm a demon.
I know, God damn it.
No, I'm a demon.
No,
I am the demon.
I'm a demon. I'm a demon.
I'm a demon.
Demon, demonic.
I'm demonic.